Chapter 40. Shi Shang went to look for Old Master Lu during her spare time for the show. She used the excuse of a friendly exchange to make Old Master Lu very happy. Old Master Lu left the country after the show. Before he left, he gave Shi Shang a necklace. Shi Shang estimated that the necklace was worth at least 50 million. Old Master Lu gave her tens of millions just like that. How rich! I'm going to hug Old Master Lu's thigh. This necklace. Lu Qingyun looked at the necklace that Shi Shang was fiddling with. His gaze froze for a moment. Don't lose it. Shi Shang put the necklace back into the box. Don't worry, Mr. Boyfriend. I'll definitely take good care of this family heirloom that grandfather gave me. That thing. Lu Qingyun opened his mouth. There was a strange expression on his face. However, his voice was very soft, so Shi Shang didn't hear him clearly. What did you say? Lu Qingyun smiled brightly. Nothing much. Shi Shang looked at him suspiciously. Are you crazy? In the blink of an eye, she beamed with joy again. Are we going shopping now? I can finally spend Lu Qingyun's money. I'm so excited. I'm going to squander all of Lu Qingyun's money, then buy him back and make him my maid. Ha ha ha. Lu Qingyun sighed silently. Compared to Old Master Lu, this woman is just as difficult to deal with. After spending Lu Qingyun's tens of millions, Shi Shang returned to the apartment. This amount of money isn't even enough to make up for the change. How frustrating. 1 billion. And US dollars too. Just how many things do I have to buy to complete this achievement? Shi Shang felt depressed again. He watched the online catfight with the mood of a newspaper reporter. Shi Shang began to get down to business. Xia Xian's rage points had probably reached a peak these past few days. This was the best time to do so. Since she was in a bad mood, I'll make sure everyone else is in a bad mood too. We'll go through hardships together. Xia Xian had already returned home. She wasn't injured in the first place, just a few scratches. She wanted to get rid of her Shi Shang, so she deliberately pretended to be seriously injured. Who knew that something like this would happen the moment she entered the hospital? There were too many people in the hospital, and reporters could sneak in at any time. How could she continue to stay there? Xia Xian's fan club was huge, but what they liked was the gentleness, kindness and purity that Xia Xian displayed. They didn't like the person in the photo who was full of dirt. Therefore, Xia Xian's Weibo was already in an uproar. Xia Xian usually acts so high and mighty, but I didn't expect her to be such a person in private. I've really misjudged her. I've unfollowed her. He must be blind. How can a woman like her be a goddess? God knows how many men she has slept with. Our Xian Xian is definitely not that kind of person. Those photos are definitely photoshopped. Xian Xian, don't be afraid. We support you. P.S. Can't you see that a few verified accounts have already appraised it? Deceiving oneself is nothing but a joke. So what if it's true? Who doesn't have a past? Xian Xian didn't do anything overboard, so why are you attacking her? Xian Xian, don't be sad. You still have us. We will definitely not leave you. There were countless arguments like this. Xia Xian didn't want to look at those comments, but she couldn't control herself. She wanted to find someone to delete those photos, but no matter how many people she found, no one was able to delete those photos. Xia Xian gripped the mouse so tightly that the veins on the back of her hand bulged. She suddenly threw the mouse away, smashing it against the wall. With a "pa" sound, it broke into pieces and fell to the ground. At this moment, the computer screen suddenly turned black. Large, bright red words slowly appeared on the screen. Atonement for the dead souls. Are you ready? Atonement for the dead souls. Ah. Xia Xian screamed and pushed the computer off the bed. The computer made 2 ZZ sounds and turned completely black. Baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? The door was pushed open and Xia Xian's mother rushed in, hugging the screaming Xia Xian. Baby, did you have a nightmare? It's okay, it's okay. Mother is here. Mother. Xia Xian grabbed her mother's hand, her expression sinister. Mother, that matter has been found out. Someone came to find me. Mother, didn't you say that you've settled it? Why would someone else find out? Xian Xian, what are you talking about? Xia Xian's mother looked at Xia Xian anxiously. Xian Xian, calm down. Tell mother what happened. With her mother's comforting words, Xia Xian gradually calmed down. However, her eyes were bloodshot. She grabbed her mother's hand so hard that it turned white. Her long nails dug into her mother's skin. However, she was afraid that she would agitate Xia Xian, so she could only endure it. Mother, someone found out about that matter. He wants to destroy me. Xia Xian gritted her teeth and glared at the empty space. Xia Xian's mother's expression changed. That's not possible. I dealt with that matter very cleanly. No, those people aren't dead yet. There were so many people back then. They all knew. They all knew. Why didn't you kill them? Why? Xia Xian suddenly pushed her mother away. If you had killed them back then, would I still be threatened? Why didn't you kill them? Why? Xia Xian weakly lay on the blanket and cried. Xian Xian, don't worry. Mother will help you solve this matter. You're my only daughter. I won't let anything happen to you. Xia Xian's mother's well-maintained face revealed a trace of viciousness. Although she had her mother's guarantee, Xia Xian still felt unsafe. She went to Shi Mo's house that night. When Shi Mo saw Xia Xian wrapped up tightly, he frowned slightly and was slightly dissatisfied. What are you doing here? She was currently embroiled in a scandal, yet she still dared to come to his place. Wasn't this causing trouble for him? Mo, save me. Xia Xian threw herself into Shi Mo's arms and hugged him tightly. Xia Xian had put on makeup before she went out. At this moment, she looked somewhat pitiful. Thank God for the greatness of makeup. You can just find someone to delete the photos. Why are you looking for me? Shi Mo's voice was somewhat cold. Because of their fiancé relationship, Dongfang Entertainment was also affected. He didn't want to complicate matters. RMO, someone wants to destroy me. Those photos can't be deleted. Xia Xian hugged Shi Mo and sobbed softly. Not only do they want to destroy me, but they also want to drag Dongfang Entertainment down with them. Mo, helping me is also helping you. Help me. Shi Mo's gaze darkened. He had indeed discovered that someone was deliberately directing the fire towards Dongfang Entertainment. However, he had discovered it in time and didn't let the fire burn. Could it be that someone really wanted to deal with Dongfang Entertainment? Starting with Xia Xian? Xia Xian didn't know about this at all. She was just making things up. She just wanted Shi Mo to help her. It had to be said that she was lucky to be able to talk about the main topic while making things up. The Xia family's influence wasn't in the entertainment industry. Their words didn't have much weight. They could only support her financially and couldn't do anything else. Only Shi Mo, who had Dongfang Entertainment, could help her. Don't cry. Go take a bath first. Shi Mo pushed Xia Xian away and said impatiently. Xia Xian was smart at this time. She didn't stick to Shi Mo and went to take a bath obediently. Asterisk, equals carrot carrot. Smiley face after all, this baby is so hot and cute. Aren't you guys going to vote or reward me? Chapter 41. Before Shi Mo could find out the ins and outs of the matter, the studio that had exposed the news before started to expose it again. This time, they exposed evidence of Xia Xian acting like a big shot on set and bullying others. There were photos and videos. The Xia Xian in front of the public and the Xia Xian in the photos and videos were like two different people. With the foreshadowing from before, the information that was exposed this time was quickly accepted by the public. Waves and waves were created on the internet, pushing Xia Xian to the forefront. Those who had been bullied before could only endure it because of her status as a movie queen. With such a good opportunity, how could they tolerate it? They all hired ghostwriters to drag Xia Xian down from her pedestal. Chairman Shi, there's only one person in that studio. We can't find anyone else. Shimo's assistant looked at his boss nervously. Check the IP address. We can't find it either. The assistant's legs were weak and he couldn't even speak clearly. Can't find it? Shimo's voice rose a few notches. Why can't you find it? If you can't find it, then find someone else to do it. Do you need me to teach you such a simple thing? The assistant hurriedly left and contacted someone to check the IP address. Unfortunately, the IP address had been tampered with by Shi Sheng. How could Shimo's men find it? Compared to the endless scolding on Xia Xian's side, Shi Sheng's new TV series became popular. Shi Sheng's popularity also rose. The previously recorded Extreme World also started airing. The internet instantly became lively. Tiny Meatball is so funny the moment she appears. Has she considered the cameraman's feelings? I'm asking for the cameraman's shadow. Goddess Chio and Tiny Meatball look so compatible together. Am I the only one who thinks so? Cameraman, you've worked hard to follow such an unreliable artist like Tiny Meatball. I salute you on behalf of Tiny Meatball's fan club. I agree +1. Tiny Meatball's new TV series is so cute. I'm going to add more screen time. What do you mean cute? It's obviously domineering. I'm going to add screen time too. That elf is so beautiful. I saw it too. Her beauty has reached a whole new level. She's like an angel. I'm going to change my husband. As soon as Han Ling and the other three appeared, they attracted a lot of fans with their faces. They all ran to the Extreme World's official Weibo to ask which company the four of them were from and whether they would debut. Extreme World's official Weibo account gave them a lot of face. They posted a few solo photos of the four of them taking sprites, and then used group photos to make up 9 squares. Finally, they tagged Mantion Entertainment. His meaning couldn't be more obvious. He was from Mantion Entertainment. Wasn't Mantion Entertainment their Little Meatballs company? Wow, Little Meatball is in the same company as the elves. How blissful. Tang Yin was already prepared. At this moment, the company immediately held a press conference to announce the official debut of King. Following that, they released their first music video. They were also called elves by their fans, not only because of their elf-like appearance, but also because of their elf-like singing. One song made the four of them instantly popular. Tang Yin was busy with their matters and didn't have much time to care about the Shi Sheng. The Shi Sheng could only take care of himself. Accept a role? Do it yourself. Announcement? Do it yourself. She felt that if she became a part-time manager in the future, she would definitely do very well. After the Shi Sheng finished discussing the contract for the new movie and sent them off, he called Lu Qingyun. Mr. Lu, your girlfriend is missing at the Carlisle Grand Hotel on Unju Road. Please quickly come and claim her. Lu Qingyun was doing something on the other side. It was a little noisy, but it quickly quieted down. His clear and smiling voice came through the phone. I'll leave her there for now. Mr. Lu, I'm sure you miss Grandpa Lu a lot. Little guy, I've already made old Master Lu's impression of me explode. As the saying goes, if you want to settle a person, you have to settle the people around him first. This saying is very philosophical. Wait for me. Compared to dealing with old Master Lu, Lu Qingyun would rather deal with the Shi Sheng. At least she only made him pay the bill and didn't do anything else. Lu Qingyun arrived at the place designated by the Shi Sheng. Seeing the table full of untouched food and a certain someone who was still ordering, his mouth couldn't help but twitch. How free was she? So fast. I've only ordered 1 round. The Shi Sheng closed the menu and the waitress glanced at Lu Qingyun. After confirming that the Shi Sheng wasn't ordering, she quickly left the room. She could be considered an old employee, but she had never seen a customer like this. A person actually ordering food for fun. Wasn't it wasteful? Do you like spending my money that much? Although she had asked him to buy clothes and bags, he hadn't seen her wear or use them in the end. The Shi Sheng blinked innocently. Spending my boyfriend's money is a matter of course. What's wrong with that? Lu Qingyun's smile froze. He pulled out a chair and sat beside her. His gaze swept over the contract on the table. You've accepted a new movie? I have no choice. I have to climb up the ranks for the title of Best Actress. The Shishang's face fell. Great sugar daddy, why don't you spend money to buy me the title of Best Actress? Lu Qingyun. Why don't you let me spend money to buy you the earth to play with? She clearly didn't like it, but she still insisted on doing it. Was she crazy? It was just like how she didn't like him, but still insisted on staying by his side. Lu Qingyun's eyes darkened. After interacting with her for so long, the only thing he was certain of was that she wasn't a spy sent by someone else. As for her motive, he only had one unlocked: to spend his money. The Shishang gave the dishes on the table to the hotel staff to eat. She held on to Lu Qingyun's arm and left, leaving the hotel staff in a daze. Rich people were really capricious. Wait, why did that person look so familiar? By the time they realized who it was, they were already long gone. Not long after Lu Qingyun sent the Shishang back, a piece of news appeared out of nowhere. Hashtag revealing the man behind the popular starlet. Jiangwan hashtag. The first thing the Shishang saw was the news. The photo was very blurry. It was Lu Qingyun opening the car door for her. She bent over to get into the car and Lu Qingyun glanced sideways at the photo. She didn't know if it was on purpose, but Lu Qingyun's face was blurry while hers was especially clear. There had been a lot of news about her recently. Now that this piece of news was out, it immediately caused a commotion. Tang Yin called her and asked if she was going to handle it herself or the company. He also wanted to scold her for not knowing that someone was secretly taking photos of her when she went out. The Shishang immediately hung up and logged onto Weibo to post. Jiangwan. Good night. Sugar Daddy Lu Qingyun. The fans who were waiting for developments immediately went to check out Shishang's Weibo. They immediately went into an uproar and clicked on the main page of the person in the photo. Lu Qingyun's Weibo wasn't verified. There was only one Weibo post with a link. There wasn't a single word. Everyone was confused when they saw this. He didn't even have a verified account. He was actually Little Meatball's sugar daddy? That link was something similar to a login page. There was an account and password, but it wasn't registered. They couldn't understand the domain name at all. Was this a scam? The anti-fans rubbed their fists and were itching to give it a try. They were prepared to slander Shishang to death. But when they clicked on Lu Qingyun's list of followers, they were stunned. Not only were there authoritative media, there were also all sorts of big shots in the business world. There were even some from the political world. The moment they scrolled down, they saw that they were all big shots in blue and yellow. Who was this person? Asterisk. Come and look at me, pretty. I'll post more, 400 recommendation votes. There was another post at 6 p.m. Chapter 42. Meatballs fans instantly exploded, crushing those who were waiting to see Shishang make a fool of himself. Look, even if he doesn't have a verified account, he's still so awesome. Our Meatball's sugar daddy must be like this. Fong Liqiu. Sugar daddy, please provide for me. Jiangwan. Good night sugar daddy. Lu Qingyun. Su Ishio. Sugar daddy, please give me my salary. Jiangwan. Good night sugar daddy. Lu Qingyun. These two reposts instantly caused a huge commotion. Fong Liqiu's fans were also very huge. Their own goddess was actually asking for a sugar daddy on Weibo. Goddess, although you're a little jumpy, can you please be more reserved? And that Su Ishio, isn't he the boss of Eugen Entertainment? If he's asking for his salary, doesn't that mean he's the boss of bosses? Oh my god, what's wrong with this world? Who's this Lu Qingyun? Someone, come and explain. Some people wanted to explain, but they couldn't find anything. There was just a name, a blurry profile, and not even a phone number. How could they find anything? Even if they could find anything, it wouldn't be done in a short period of time. Thus, some people started to say that this was a self-directed show. Those followers must have been created. Once this statement was out, some people rebutted, create a list of followers with verified accounts. A war was about to break out, but there was no movement from Lu Qingyun's side. Some technical nerds found out that the last time the account was logged in was when the only Weibo post was posted. After that, there was no more activity. Everyone was dumbfounded. What happened to the sugar daddy? He was gone just like that. Shishang's side was noisy, but Xiaoxian's side wasn't quiet either. Because the studio had said that it wasn't finished yet, many people were waiting for more information. Not long after Shishang's Weibo post was posted, the studio also updated. This time, the content was more special. It was a group photo. The people in the photo were a group of youthful and beautiful university students. The background was a university in China. Xiaoxian stood in the middle, looking playful, cute, and energetic. It looked like a normal group photo, and there was nothing wrong with it. However, when Xiaoxian saw this photo, she cried out in shock. If she had still felt that she was lucky before, then now, that trace of luck was gone, and only endless fear was left. Xiaoxian's hands trembled as she dialed her mother's number. It took her a few tries before she could make the call. Xian, it's already so late. Why aren't you sleeping yet? Xia Xiaofu's mother's gentle voice sounded from the other end of the phone. Mom, how's your investigation going? Xiaoxian's voice was trembling with fear and unease. Someone on the internet. Someone exposed the photos of me and those people. The person behind this must know about what happened back then. Mom, you have to save me. I don't want to be caught. A strange noise came from Xia Xiaofu's side. She heard Xia Xiaofu's dissatisfied grumbling and Xia Xiaofu's comforting voice. Then, it quietened down. Xian, who exactly did you offend? Do you know how serious this matter is? I didn't. Xiaoxian weakly retorted. However, Shishang's face appeared in his mind. Could it be her? Would she have the ability to dig up something that happened so long ago? Xian, think about it carefully. Who exactly did you offend? Those people all had a part to play in that matter back then. It's impossible for them to speak of it. Isn't there also the families of those people? Could it be them? Xia Xiaofu's mother fell silent. Xiaoxian could only hear her slightly heavy breathing. She was extremely flustered. With a hint of sobbing and pleading, she said, Mom, say something. I don't want to be ruined like this. You have to save me. Xian, let's meet and talk. Xia Xiaofu's mother gave Xiaoxian an address and then hung up. When Xiaoxian and her mother met, Xiaoxian hugged her and cried for a long time. For the past few days, she had been in a state of fear that her past would be revealed to the world. She would fall from her pedestal and be cursed by the world. Just as the mother and daughter were discussing this matter, the internet had already exploded. After that photo, a few more photos were released. It was a photo of Xiaoxian and the other men and women in the group photo abusing two young girls. Following that, there were videos of the group of men and women abusing the girls. They chose to do it in a hidden place so that they wouldn't leave any obvious scars. After the abuse, they even treated the victims so that they could do it better the next time. Other than the two young girls, there was also a young boy. In order to protect the victims, the faces of the three people were censored. The torturing process was very long, and it was a ghastly sight to behold. The people in the photos and videos all looked like children. Is Xiaoxian among the abusers? How can Xiaoxian be such a person? I thought I liked her so much. I didn't expect her to be so cruel. Who are those people in the photos? They were found out. These people are actually not punished by the law. A bunch of beasts. The school in the photos seems to be 211 University. I remember a very sensational news that happened at 211 University. A man and a woman were brutally dismembered in an old school building. The case is still unsolved. I'm from 211 University. I was a graduate of that year. I went to see it at the scene. Even now, I still have nightmares when I think about it. It's too cruel. Xiaoxian can't be the murderer, right? I know the person besides Xiaoxian. His name is Hu Meng. Not long after that incident, Hu Meng transferred schools. I heard that he went abroad. Don't talk nonsense without evidence. Xian is definitely not such a person. That's right. Our Xian is so kind. How can she be a murderer? Xian also went abroad that year. It was a month after the dismembered body case at 211. Brainless fans are still defending the murderer. Are you guys sick in the mind? You actually like a murderer? Birds of a feather flock together. More and more netizens jumped out. The people in the photos were instantly found out. All of them left the country about a month after the dismembered body case at 211. These people came from good family backgrounds. They were the second generation of rich families. Some were even the second generation of officials. With such status, it was very easy for the power of their families to clean up after the murder. People on the internet began to circle 211 University's official Weibo and the police official Weibo. In an instant, the internet was surging. Countless people criticized Xian and the group of abusers. How old were they at that time? 18 or 19 was the most beautiful and pure age. But what were they doing? They were abusing their classmates around them. They might have even killed and dismembered the bodies. Such a dangerous person was actually a public figure now. 211 University responded very quickly. However, it was very official. The general meaning was that they could not confirm that Xian was the murderer based on a few photos and videos. They asked everyone not to spread false rumors. The police did not respond. There were many cases of abusing people nowadays. It was scary just looking at it. Babies must be cute cherub. They must be cute to be loved. Moi moi moi. Chapter 43. Xiemo didn't expect this to happen. When he saw the photos online, he was stunned for a long time. He had always known that Xian was not as she appeared to be in the outside world, but he had always thought that she was at most like those young ladies from rich families, arrogant and condescending. He had never thought that she might have killed someone before. CEO Shi, Chairman Shi is on the phone. The assistant came in with the phone, not daring to breathe too loudly. The boss now was even scarier than before. Xiemo slammed the laptop shut and took the phone from the assistant. Dad. Hold a press conference and annul the engagement with Xian. The man on the other end of the phone was firm. I don't care what you want to do, but Xian can't be your fiancé anymore. Do you understand? Got it. Xiemo hung up and his expression darkened. Arrange the press conference. Dongfang Entertainment CEO unilaterally annulled his engagement with the movie queen Xian. Does this mean that Xian really killed someone? As soon as the news came out, Xian called Xiemo's phone. Xiemo didn't even look at it and turned off his phone. He could only give up on Xian. Dongfang Entertainment was in a critical period and he couldn't ruin his plan because of Xian. Xian didn't dare to go out. There were reporters waiting outside and even angry netizens. If it wasn't for the good security in her neighborhood, those people would have rushed into her house. However, Xian wasn't the only one in the neighborhood. There were even other celebrities. With so many reporters and people, their movements were seriously hindered. The police had no choice but to investigate. Ding dong. Ding dong ding dong. The doorbell rang urgently. The people in police uniforms looked at each other and asked someone to call the property management to open the door. As soon as the door opened, the smell of blood rushed out. On the sofa in the living room, Xian was only wearing a spaghetti-strap nightgown. One of her hands was hanging in the air and there was a long wound on her wrist. Blood dripped from her fingertips onto the woolen carpet, dyeing the white carpet red. Officer, did Xian commit suicide? The moment the medical staff came out, the reporters surrounded them. Was Xian murdered or committed suicide? Is she really the murderer of the 211 dismembered body case? Officer, please say a few words. Sorry, it's not convenient to disclose. Please make way. The police separated the reporters and escorted Xian to the ambulance. Hashtag Xia Xian committed suicide to escape punishment. Hashtag murderer of the 211 dismemberment case. Hashtag the 211 dismemberment case was all over the trending searches. The people who offended you are really pitiful. Lu Qingyun's gaze swept across Shi Shang's phone. The smile on his face was a little strange, making his face look malicious. A pitiful person must have something to hate. Shi Shang put his phone away and narrowed his eyes at the man beside him. Mr. Lu, hearing the word pitiful from your mouth is really... How ironic. Lu Qingyun smiled brilliantly. His ink-black pupils were like a vast sea of stars, filled with resplendent starlight. I'm just an ordinary person. Ha! Ordinary people? Were there any ordinary people who were as beautiful as her? Ordinary people. Were there any ordinary people who were so rich that they could become gods? Forget it. He's the sugar daddy. He has the final say. I won't argue with him. Why did you bring me to the airport? Shi Shang looked at the buildings outside, puzzled. Pick up the old man. Grandpa Lu is coming? Shi Shang blinked and said sternly, My schedule is so busy. You only give me such a small amount of money every month. I want to raise the price. Lu Qingyun. Even if he was rich, he shouldn't have taken advantage of him like this. The number of times they met was directly proportional to the number of times he raised the price. Seeing that the airport was getting closer and closer, in order not to annoy the old man, Lu Qingyun treated it as him spending money to buy some peace and quiet. After all, he had money. However, Lu Qingyun suddenly approached Shi Shang. His masculine scent instantly enveloped Shi Shang. Then as my girlfriend, shouldn't you give me some benefits? Shi Shang was wondering why Lu Qingyun was so close to him. When he heard that Lu Qingyun wanted to give him benefits, his face darkened. Mr. Lu, I sell my skills, not my body. Lu Qingyun. What kind of skills are you selling? All you know is to spend money. Spend money. Spend money. As if he knew what Lu Qingyun was thinking, Shi Shang said righteously, spending money is also an art. Recently, all the money I spent was earned by you. Lu Qingyun silently straightened his body. He was sleeping with a woman who had activated her money-making skills. There was no way he could threaten her with anything. Bad review. People came and went at the airport. As a famous artist, Shi Shang didn't have any self-awareness as an artist. He openly swaggered with Lu Qingyun to the VIP passage to pick up Grandpa Lu. The two girls standing next to Shi Shang kept staring at Shi Shang. That looks like Little Meatball? How is that possible? Little Meatball is an artist. How could she appear at the airport like this? Although that was what they said, it was obvious that the girl standing next to them was their Little Meatball. Should we go up and ask? Okay. The two girls took a deep breath and moved next to Shi Shang and Lu Qingyun. One of them pulled on Shi Shang's sleeve with a red face. Excuse me, are you Jiang Wan? Ha! Shi Shang was stunned for a moment before nodding. I am. The two girls' eyes lit up and they excitedly pulled on each other. They actually saw a living Little Meatball. They were so excited and happy. Calm down, calm down. As fans of Little Meatball, they had to be polite. After calming down, the two girls put on infatuated faces and looked at Shi Shang with hearts in their eyes. We're your fans. Little Meatball, can you give us an autograph? It's my honor to be able to give such cute fans an autograph. As Shi Shang spoke, he took out a pen from Lu Qingyun. Where do you want to sign? The girls were dizzy from his teasing. They instinctively took out a notebook from their backpack and handed it over. Then, they continued to look at Shi Shang with infatuated faces. Little Meatball is so cute. Little Meatball is so handsome. Sob sob, they want to marry Little Meatball. Shi Shang returned the signed notebook. You guys look like students, right? Are you here to pick someone up? The weather has been very hot recently. You have to take care of yourself. Little Meatball, you have to take care of your body too. Don't tire yourself out from filming. Our hearts will ache. Little Meatball, you're really handsome as a female general in Emperor's Book. Will you play such a role again in the future? Emperor's Book was a popular TV series that she was starring in recently. She wasn't the female lead. She was the second female lead. A female general, a handsome female general. She was so handsome when she appeared. Every time she appeared, the background music was especially handsome. No matter how you looked at her, she was handsome. She was more handsome than the male lead and the female lead. Maybe I will. Shang raised his eyebrows wickedly. The two girls almost hugged each other and howled. However, they knew that they couldn't howl. That would attract more Little Meatball fans. Then, there would be people fighting with them for Little Meatball. They weren't stupid. They wouldn't be like other fans who would scream the moment they saw someone. That would ruin the opportunity to get close to their idol. The two girls purposely blocked Shang's figure. With Lu Qingyun beside them and the passageway in front of them, no one noticed Shang for a while. The fans' tricks were so deep. Scary. Asterisk the cute Cherub fans have come to vote. La 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 la. Cherub who had joined the group looked over. 437322871. Chapter 44. Shang chatted happily with the two girls and even exchanged phone numbers towards the end. When Lu Qingyun picked up Old Master Lu and left with several bodyguards, many people finally noticed Shang and the airport became lively. Luckily, Old Master Lu's bodyguards were strong enough and the group of people left the airport safely. Many fans expressed that they were hurt 10,000 points. Hashtag Little Meatball was actually at the same airport as me, but I didn't see her. Hashtag Little Meatball and Gold Darren are showing off their love in public. I want chicken-flavored dog food. Hashtag Darren's autograph. He's so handsome. I feel like I'm going to turn gay. Hashtag the last one was the most popular. Not only were there close-up photos, there were also group photos and autographs. Many fans expressed their envy and jealousy. Why didn't they notice their Darren? While the netizens were being abused, Shang and Lu Qingyun were eating with Old Master Lu. Xiaowan, you've been dating this brat for so long. When are you going to hold your wedding? Old Master Lu looked at Shang amiably. Shang's hand that was holding the spoon trembled and he laughed dryly. Grandfather Lu, we're still young. Long my ass. Plus, I only want to spend Lu Qingyun's money. I'm not thinking about marrying him. Old Master Lu, don't try to pull strings. We're not young anymore. When I was this brat's age, his dad was already old enough to buy soy sauce. Grandfather is old now. I want to see my great-grandson while I'm still alive. Shang kicked Lu Qingyun under the table, but he merely swept her an indifferent gaze before turning to speak to Grandpa Lu. Grandpa, pick a date. Xiaowan and I will listen to you. What? Lu Qingyun and Old Master Lu looked at Shang at the same time. Shang hurriedly covered his mouth. I just think it's too fast. I think Qingyun and I still need to cultivate our relationship. Right, cultivate a bit more. Shang nodded heavily towards the end. Ha. Cultivating after marriage is the same. Plus, Grandfather can see that your relationship is very good. Grandpa Lu was grinning from ear to ear. It's settled then. I'll go back and check on the date later. He had specially come back after seeing the news online. No. Xiaowan, who else is in your family? Tell Grandpa so that Grandpa can make arrangements. I won't marry him. Little brat, you have to prepare for the wedding carefully. You can't let Xiaowan suffer, otherwise, I won't forgive you. Grandpa, don't worry. Shang. Let me say something. I haven't agreed yet. Is it really okay for you guys to talk to yourselves like this? Shang was married just like that. Only after Grandpa Lu had left did Shang look for Lu Qingyun to settle the score. Lu Qingyun very neatly waved the check in his hand. The string of zeros on it bribed Shang in a matter of minutes. Isn't it just getting married? That's easy. But, Mr. Liu, don't you want to add a few more zeros? I'm a virgin, and you want to buy me back with such a small amount of money. Isn't it a little too cheap? Raising the price on the spot was something she could do casually. Marry me. What's mine is yours, isn't it? Shi Shang blinked. That makes sense. But I haven't married you yet. Don't change the topic. Lu Qingyun. He suddenly regretted it. Was it too late to tell Grandpa to cancel the wedding now? Shi Shang had been busy trying to show off his affection for Lu Qingyun in front of old Master Lu. Other than filming, the two spent most of their time together. There was more and more news about the two of them online, and Lu Qingyun's identity was finally dug out. The biggest boss of Eugen Entertainment and the heir of Lu Group. The identity of this sugar daddy blinded the eyes of this group of people. Did Little Meatball save the Milky Way in her past life? Shi Shang was so busy that he almost forgot where his company was. It wasn't until Xiaoman called him that he remembered that he was still the boss. It was time to pay his salary. When he returned to the company, he met 4 little fresh meats. These 4 were very popular and had already released an album. The sales were optimistic. Shi Shang still had the deepest impression of Jiang Ming because he could take out food anytime and anywhere. Little Ming, give me some food. Jiang Ming. Why did Sister Wan ask him for food the moment they met? He took out a bag of jelly beans from his pocket and handed it to Shi Shang. Shi Shang revealed an expression as if he had expected it. This guy was wearing a costume for a performance. What if the jelly beans jumped out during the performance? Jiang Ming. Han Ling gritted her teeth and glared at Jiang Ming. How many times had she told him not to hide food in his pocket? Jiang Ming shrunk his neck and looked at Shi Shang for help. Shi Shang took the jelly beans and waved at them. Good luck, little fresh meats. Sister Wan, does your sugar daddy know that you're so fashionable? When he arrived at the office, only the CEO was there. Tang Yin and Xiaoman were nowhere to be seen. The CEO had a deep impression of his boss who only knew how to give him money. Shi Shang signaled him to ignore him and go to the sofa to watch them fight. It wasn't until Shi Shang was getting impatient that Tang Yin and Xiaoman arrived. Xiaoman's expression didn't look too good while Tang Yin was injured. You two. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? Tang Yin glared at Shi Shang. Xiaoman met Xiamo. Oh, I'm not thinking about anything. Shi Shang hugged his phone and shrunk back to the sofa. You're thinking too much. You're blaming me for being dirty? I'm not taking the blame. Xiaoman sat next to Shi Shang with her head lowered. She looked a bit embarrassed. It's not easy to find a 3-legged toad, but a 2-legged man is everywhere. Miss Xia, what are you thinking about? Shi Shang whistled at Tang Yin. Tang Yin pushed his glasses up and ignored Shi Shang's flippant words. Xiaoman smiled bitterly. We've liked each other for so many years. How can I stop liking him just like that? But what did he say about her? Then go abroad to treat your wounds. Xiaoman looked at Shi Shang in confusion. Tang Yin, there's a movie in Hollywood that's looking for an Asian face. Take Xiaoman to try it out. Shi Shang patted Xiaoman's shoulder and suddenly asked seriously, do you still want to reconcile with Xiamo? Xiaoman froze for a moment and then shook her head firmly. Xiamo was no longer the person in her memory. They couldn't go back. Then go. Don't come back for half a year. Don't ask me why. Trust me. Great, they've successfully separated the couple. I'm going to add to my list of achievements. Xiaoman left with Tang Yin. Shi Shang was temporarily acting as the artist director. The consequence of letting Shi Shang be the artist director was that the company had a bunch of good-looking newcomers. In Mantion Entertainment, if you weren't good-looking, you wouldn't be able to show your face in the company. Even the cleaners had to be good-looking. They didn't need any artistes to keep up appearances. Mantion Entertainment. The professional CEO was very upset. Was he running an entertainment company? Why did it feel like he was running a brothel and he was a procuress? No, his boss was the procuress. At most, he was a pimp. When he thought about it, he really wanted to resign. Hashtag the company that owns the entire entertainment industry's face. Please recognize the famous brand, Mantion Entertainment. There's only one company and no other branches. #* two-legged readers are hard to find, but readers who bring their own stools are everywhere. 700 plus recommendation votes, looking for tips. Chapter 45. Xia Xian didn't commit suicide. She was murdered. The murderer was Zhou Yi, the son of a government official. The photos and videos that Shi Shang had obtained were all from his computer. After that incident, Zhou Yi had left the country with those things and had been abroad ever since. However, he was that kind of person. He couldn't stop the evil and dark thoughts in his mind. At first, he only looked at those photos and videos to relieve his desires. As time passed, those things couldn't bring him much pleasure anymore. He couldn't help but take action. After the first time, he tasted the sweetness and fell into the endless abyss again. After so many years, no one had ever found out. He even found a few like-minded friends. However, not long ago, he received some cursing messages. From those words, he saw Xia Xian's name. He only knew that something big had happened after searching the internet. He didn't even know why he wanted to kill Xia Xian. At that time, it was as if there was a voice in his head that kept telling him to kill Xia Xian. Zhou Yi was arrested and he confessed what had happened. He even had the video of several people dismembering the bodies. It was bloody and cruel. He said that everyone had taken drugs at that time. They found the couple in the old school building. They wanted to abuse them because they had more people. However, the couple resisted fiercely. The girl was pushed by someone and her head hit a sharp object on the ground. She died on the spot. When the boy saw this, he resisted even more fiercely. The group of people were so high that they didn't even realize that someone had died. Instead, they abused the boy, causing him to be tortured to death. Zhou Yi couldn't remember who had suggested dismembering the bodies. There was sufficient evidence in the video. Xia Xian was sent to jail. Those who were involved were all arrested by the police. This matter was so big that no matter how powerful those families were, they didn't dare to do anything brazenly. They could only hire lawyers and follow the procedures. According to the instructions of their families, they all said that they had taken drugs and weren't conscious at that time. It was manslaughter. However, the police saw from the video that their minds were normal and they were conscious. After dismembering the bodies, they even knew to erase the evidence. The police believed that it was intentional homicide. The police also found a few people who had been abused and persuaded them to testify in court. Perhaps they were afraid of revenge, but only one of them stood up. Even so, those people were still convicted of intentional homicide and intentional injury. Because of the vile circumstances, their sentences were heavier. However, not long after the verdict, Xia Xian and Zhou Yi were sent to a mental hospital. After reading the report, Shi Shang smiled silently. Did she think that she could escape from the mental hospital? In that place, even if she wasn't sick, she would still get sick. How long could Xia Xian last? It was all thanks to Zhou Yi that Xia Xian was finished so quickly. If it weren't for him, Xia Xian wouldn't have stayed in the hospital for so long. She would definitely still be alive for a while. Xia Xian's line could be considered complete, so Mo could be handed over to Lu Qingyun. The next step was to reach the pinnacle of life. Oh, right, there's also that bunch of scumbag relatives. Lu Qingyun lived up to Shi Shang's expectations and quickly made his move against Mo. Mo's Dongfang Entertainment suffered the most, but the Shi family's other businesses didn't have any problems. It was as though he was only targeting Mo. The change of ownership of Dongfang Entertainment became a hot topic after the 211 dismemberment case. Lu Qingyun gave Dongfang Entertainment to Shi Shang as a wedding gift. Shi Shang turned around and sold Dongfang Entertainment out. Hence, Dongfang Entertainment made the headlines again. In a short period of time, the company changed owners one after another. The wedding was set for the 9th of September. After Shi Shang finished filming, he didn't take on any new projects. Since the wedding was set overseas, Shi Shang didn't have much to do. Other than going to the office, all he did was eat, sleep, and shop. The netizens all expressed that Shi Shang's wedding was bad news. Their little meatball was getting married. Although little meatball is getting married, I still love her like a mouse loves rice. Sugar daddy, you must treat our little meatball well. Super well. Little meatball is getting married. I'm against it. Little meatball belongs to everyone. How can she get married? Sob sob sob, little meatball doesn't want to get married. Are you abandoning us? Of course, there were also Lu Qingyun's fans who didn't want Lu Qingyun to marry Shi Shang. How can Jiang Wan be worthy of sugar daddy? What else does she have other than a few projects? Our sugar daddy is a real rich man. If Jiang Wan knows her place, please give up on sugar daddy. Jiang Wan isn't worthy of sugar daddy plus 10086. On a whim, I looked up Little Meatball and found out that she has 2 companies under her name. What companies? Please show me the pictures. That person immediately showed 2 pictures. The first picture was of Mantion Entertainment. The legal person's name was Jiang Wan. The second picture was of an investment company with only the letter S in the name. The legal person was also Jiang Wan. They weren't familiar with the investment company, but they were familiar with Mantion Entertainment. This was the company that Little Meatball was signed to. It was also the company that 4 little elves, King, and a few other familiar faces were signed to. This company was actually owned by Little Meatball? Those who said that she wasn't worthy of sugar daddy, are they slapping their faces now? Does it hurt? Little Meatball started this company by herself. She doesn't have any family backing her. I've never heard of that investment company, but it's also Little Meatball's business. It must be great. Little Meatball's fans all agreed. In their hearts, Little Meatball was the best in everything she did. They were her die-hard fans. Shi Shang used that investment company to cover up her large amount of money. However, the company did exist and was doing well. Little Meatball, you're actually getting married. Sob sob sob, are you abandoning me? Didn't we agree that we would love each other? Fong Liqiu hugged Shi Shang and howled at the top of her lungs. When have we ever loved each other? Shi Shang asked calmly. You. Fong Liqiu clutched her heart and was dealt a huge blow. You actually don't admit it. I didn't expect Little Meatball to be such a little meatball. Shi Shang patted Fong Liqiu's head. Be good. Go look for your Su Ishio. Fong Liqiu immediately stopped howling. Her queen-like aura instantly appeared on her body. She pulled the corners of her lips into a sinister smile. If he still dares to appear in front of me, I'll tear Su Ishio apart. Shi Shang. Su Ishio, what did you do? I don't care. I want to be your bridesmaid. In the blink of an eye, Fong Liqiu began to wail again. I feel that if I were to be your bridesmaid, my status would rise. You can't give such a good opportunity to others. I have such an awesome skill. How come I don't know about this? Fong Liqiu shamelessly decided to be the bridesmaid. Shi Shang did not have many friends, so she did not care who the bridesmaid was. This plane is about to be finished. Sob sob sob, please vote, 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 vote. 1,000 votes will add 2 chapters yo. I'm very tempted, it is better to act than to be moved. Chapter 46. Zhang Zhenzhen found out about Jiang Wan's marriage from her classmates. She had seen Jiang Wan on TV more than a year ago, but at that time, she was just a supporting character. She had laughed at this, thinking that Jiang Wan was overestimating herself. If she could become popular, she would write her name backwards. But in the past few months, news about her had been endless. She had obviously become popular. Some familiar people would ask Jiang Wan when they saw her, saying that she was lucky to have a celebrity sister. Zhang Zhenzhen was jealous. Jiang Wan had really become popular. Now that she was getting married and her partner was said to be rich, how could she not be jealous? Marrying into a rich family was her wish. But before she knew how to marry into a rich family, Jiang Wan, whom she had always looked down on, was actually marrying into a rich family. What made her jealous was that Jiang Wan had a company under her name. If she had money, would she still need to marry into a rich family? Dad, look at Jiang Wan now. She's so popular and even has a company under her name. I asked a friend and found out that her entertainment company is worth at least 200 million. She also has an investment company. How much money does she have? Zhang Yuan looked at his daughter, half believing and half doubting. Is she really that rich? Dad, you don't know, but the entertainment industry is very profitable. Zhang Zhenzhen nodded. Just one advertisement is worth a few million. But, after what we did back then, would she still acknowledge us? Mother Zhang was a little hesitant. If she had known that Zhang Wan was so capable, why would she have married her to an old man? She would dare. We're her only family. She's lived in our house for so many years. She should be filial to you, shouldn't she? That's right. We've raised her for so many years. Now that she has money, she doesn't want to acknowledge us. Wishful thinking. Zhang Yuan agreed with Zhang Zhenzhen. Zhang Zhenzhen was already imagining that after she had money, she would buy back all those things that she felt were far away from her. Actually, this wasn't the first time Zhang Zhenzhen had urged her parents to look for Jiang Wan. But Zhang Yuan and Mother Zhang were a little awkward about marrying Jiang Wan off. But now that the two companies had been exposed, the desire for money suppressed the awkwardness in Jiang Yuan's heart. Jiang Wan was just a girl. When she got married, wouldn't those things belong to her husband's family? How could the Zhang family's things be given to outsiders? When Mother Zhang heard her husband and daughter say this, she felt more confident. She was greedy to begin with. Now that Jiang Wan was such a big piece of meat, how could she let it go? The family prepared to go to the capital to look for Shi Sheng. Because they didn't have Shi Sheng's phone number, it took them a lot of effort to get to Mantian Entertainment Company. However, when they arrived, they were told that Mantian Entertainment was no longer there. Zhang Zhenzhen searched the internet for a long time before she found the new address of Mantian Entertainment. By the time he reached the company, the sky was already dark. However, looking at the bright lights of the high-rise building, he didn't feel tired no matter how hard it was. It was said that this building belonged to Mantian Entertainment. How much was it worth? Zhang Zhenzhen was so excited that her heartbeat sped up. Her blood vessels swelled and her face turned slightly red. She seemed to see countless amounts of money flying towards her. Who are you looking for? When they entered the company, the three were stopped by the security guard. I'm looking for Jiang Wan. Zhang Yuan couldn't help but puff out his chest, his eyes filled with pride. I'm her uncle. Hurry and ask her to come down. The security guard frowned and said in a businesslike manner, Miss Zhang didn't say that there would be guests. If they were relatives, how could they not have a phone number? Was he working as a security guard for so many years for nothing? She doesn't know that we're here. Brother, we're really Jiang Wan's relatives. If you don't believe me, you can call and ask. Mother Zhang's tone was much gentler. I'm sorry, Miss Zhang has already left the company. You can go to her house to look for her. If they reported to the higher-ups that anyone was looking for Miss Zhang, they wouldn't be able to work as a security guard anymore. Mother Zhang. If she knew, would she still come to the company? The security guard didn't chase them away. He just stopped them from entering. Anyway, they were doing their job. Even if they were really Miss Zhang's relatives, Miss Zhang wouldn't make things difficult for them. The three of them tried to persuade the security guard, but he didn't listen. In the end, Zhang Yuan was so angry that he started cursing. He even said that when he saw Shi Sheng, he would definitely ask him to scram. When the security guard heard this, he blushed with shame. In the end, the commotion got a little big and alarmed the paparazzi outside. When they heard Jiang Wan's name, they all gathered around. At first, Zhang Yuan was a little scared. But after thinking about it, if these paparazzi exposed his relationship with Jiang Wan, would Jiang Wan still deny it? He had heard a lot of things on the internet from Zhang Zhenzhen. Zhang Zhenzhen obviously thought the same. She and Jiang Yuan talked about how they had painstakingly raised Jiang Wan all these years. When they heard that she was getting married, they especially came to attend her wedding. They said that they were only here to attend the wedding, but in reality, they were belittling Shi Shang and saying that she was ungrateful. The security guard saw that this matter was going to blow up and quickly called the security captain on duty. The security captain pulled the three of them into the company, and only then did their speech end. The security captain couldn't report this to the higher-ups. If there was any bad news tomorrow, it would be a big deal. Shi Shang and Lu Qingyun had already arrived but had no choice but to return when they received a call from the CEO. She had guessed that this group of scumbag relatives would come knocking, but she didn't expect them to come so quickly. Where are they? Shi Shang and Lu Qingyun entered the company one after another. The security guard pointed at the room next to the hall. The captain was afraid that they would cause trouble, so he invited them to the office. Jiang Yuan's family was arguing with the security captain when the door was suddenly pushed open. The noisy office instantly quieted down. Zhang Zhenzhen saw the man standing behind Shi Shang and her eyes widened. She had never seen such a good-looking man. Miss Zhang. The security captain breathed a sigh of relief. This family was too difficult to deal with. How could Miss Zhang have such relatives? They were on a completely different level from Miss Zhang. He didn't believe them when they said that Miss Zhang was educated by them. Xiao Wan, look at who you've invited. They don't know the rules at all. Zhang Yuan said righteously. How can such people stay in the company? Hurry up and fire them. The security captain almost couldn't catch his breath. He didn't know the rules? Who was the one making trouble here? Let's talk outside. You don't want outsiders to laugh at you, right? Shi Shang looked at Zhang Zhenzhen with a faint smile. You've worked hard today. I'll get the finance department to give you a bonus later. The security captain's face lit up. Thank you, Miss Zhang. It seemed like he didn't do anything wrong today. Xiao Wan, why are you giving him a bonus? You didn't see how they treated us. We came all the way here but they didn't call you and even stopped us. They're so insensible. It's fine if they offend us, but what if they offend other people? Mother Zhang also had a look of disapproval. Mr. Zhang, Ms. Wu, you don't have the final say here. Shi Shang enunciated his words clearly. There was a smile on his face, but his eyes seemed to be filled with ice. Jiang Yuan and Mother Zhang both felt a chill run up from the soles of their feet. Their scalps went numb and they didn't dare to make a sound. Asterisk 1000 recommendation votes. Second update. I can't reply to the comments after the chapters in the client. It's scary, but I can reply to the comment section. Come to the comment section. Chapter 47. After leaving the company, Shi Shang didn't say anything. He let the three of them get in the car and Lu Qingyun drove. Zhang Zhenzhen's gaze never left Lu Qingyun. The photos online were a bit blurry. Although she thought he was handsome back then, she didn't take him seriously because of Shi Shang. But now that she saw him, she suddenly realized that this man was really beautiful. Jiang Yuan and Mother Zhang sat at the back. The two of them communicated with their eyes that only they understood. In the end, Mother Zhang broke the silence and spoke with the tone of an elder. Xiao Wan, you must be having a hard time starting your own business. Why didn't you call home? Your uncle and I could have helped you. No need for Madame Wu to worry. I wouldn't dare to trouble you. Shi Shang didn't hide the sarcasm in his voice. Child, why aren't you calling me auntie anymore? You only have us as your family. What trouble? When your parents passed away, weren't we the ones who took care of you? Why are you treating auntie like an outsider? Zhang Yuan was angry and helpless. He looked like he really cared about her. However, the greed in his eyes was completely exposed. Madame Wu, you're wrong. My parents left behind nearly 1,000,000 yuan as compensation. Including their savings and house, it added up to 2,000,000 yuan. Didn't you take all this money? Take it as the cost of taking care of me for the past few years. I won't ask you for it. Mother Zhang choked and couldn't say anything. Back then, if it wasn't for the money, how could she have adopted a burden? Great, Jiang Yuan. You've grown up, haven't you? Jiang Yuan immediately supported Mother Jiang. Didn't we spend money to raise you? Now that you have money, you want to fall out with us? Your dad still calls me older brother. You don't even know your place anymore. If your dad was still here, he would be angered to death. Ha! Mr. Jiang, we all know how much money you've spent on me. If my dad knew that you treated me like this, he might come looking for you tonight. Who doesn't know how to scare people? Do you think I'm scared? There was only one word that could describe this family: greed. Back then, the original owner's parents had left her a lot of money. It was enough for the original owner to finish college safely. There was even enough for her to start her own business. However, the family used various reasons to coax the original owner into giving them the money. She still wasn't satisfied and wanted to sell the original owner for a good price. Were these people really relatives? F***ck, it must be an enemy. In the novel world, other than white lotuses and green tea bitches, there were also magical creatures like scumbag relatives. You. Jiang Yuan was so angry that he couldn't speak. Perhaps he was guilty and didn't know how to refute Shi Sheng. Shi Sheng sneered. He tilted his head and said to Lu Qingyun, "Let's go to Carlisle Hotel." The smile on Lu Qingyun's face was a little cold. Shi Sheng even felt a little murderous intent. She silently lit a candle for Jiang Zhenzhen. F***ck, you're treating this pervert like a male actor. After settling the three of them into a hotel, Shi Sheng warned them before they left, "If you want to attend my wedding, you'd better stay in the hotel." Of course, she didn't think that the three of them would listen to her, but that wasn't important. The extent to which they were courting death directly affected their ending. After they left the hotel, Shi Sheng pulled Lu Qingyun with a distressed expression. "Mr. Lu, give me some money to comfort me." Lu Qingyun. The scumbag relatives weren't even his, so why should he give money to comfort them? Reject. Shi Sheng was very upset at being rejected. "Mr. Lu, are you really going to reject me? Grandfather Lu is still waiting for us. If I tell him that you bullied me, will he beat you to death? And let me inherit the Lu family? That's a pretty good idea." "You're thinking too much." Lu Qingyun stuffed Shi Sheng into the car. Was he that easy to beat to death? Also, that was his biological grandfather. How could he beat him to death? Because Jiang Yuan had said some things outside the company, Shi Sheng had gotten someone to take care of it. Therefore, the internet was calm. Jiang Yuan's family, who had been waiting for the news to break out online, couldn't sit still anymore. Didn't they say that the paparazzi could create an uproar over a small matter? What he said yesterday should be big news, right? Why was there no news at all? "Zhenzhen, take a look again." Jiang Yuan urged Jiang Zhenzhen in frustration. Jiang Zhenzhen searched again, but there was still no news. Instinctively, Jiang Zhenzhen clicked into Shi Sheng's Weibo. The moment she refreshed, a Weibo post appeared. "Jiang Yuan v. Sugar Daddy is handsome no matter how I look at him. Picture. Picture. Picture." The first two pictures were of wedding photos. The first one was of a woman wearing a fiery red wedding gown. She stood barefoot in a sea of stars. The light shone around her, making her look like a demon in the dark. The man opposite her was wearing a black tuxedo that blended into the sea of stars. Yet, he was so dazzling that one couldn't take their eyes off him. The two of them looked at each other from afar. It was as though they were separated by an entire galaxy, but they could still see each other. The second picture was of a pure white wedding gown. The woman ran, causing her wedding gown to dance. The man stood in the distance with his arms slightly open, welcoming the woman's arrival with a radiant smile and a gentle gaze. The last picture was of money stacked into a three-dimensional heart. Little Meatball is showing off her husband again. But the wedding photos are so beautiful. It feels like a blockbuster. I'm licking my screen. Crazy husband flaunting demon. Little Meatball. Have you considered the feelings of the single dog? I'm looking for the shadow in the heart of the single dog. Hubby is here to watch the single dog at There's a Dog in the Sky. The wedding gown is so beautiful. Most people wouldn't be able to pull off a red wedding gown. But Little Meatball has no problem at all. Ah, Little Meatball, I realize that I'm loving you more and more. What should I do? The person above is so sad. Hubby is here to watch the single dog at basic number. The person above is crazy. The single dog needs to be touched. Little Meatball. Sob, sob, sob. My little meatball is getting married. I'm so sad. P.S. The wedding gown is so beautiful. It's all because Little Meatball and Sugar Daddy are good looking. Licking my screen. Sugar Daddy is so gentle. I have to admit that the two of them are very compatible. I quit. Little Meatball. I'm handing my Sugar Daddy to you. Sob, sob. I'm heartbroken. Why do I feel that the last picture of money is bigger? Is it my imagination? Is it? It's not your imagination. It's indeed bigger. So Little Meatball is just flaunting her wealth and her husband? I don't understand the tricks of rich people. Jiang Zhenzhen looked at the waves of well-wishing comments, and the jealousy in her heart had long drowned her. She was just an orphan without parents. What right did she have to have all this? Such a perfect man actually belonged to Jiang Wan. How could that be? *1 000 recommendation votes. Oh babies, are you sure you're not praising me? Congratulations to Xiao Shang for obtaining the title of Crazy Husband Flaunting Demon. Please vote. Chapter 48. Shi Shang had been guarding against Jiang Yuan's family for a long time. Hence, when they approached the media, she was the first to know. She got Hu Shuo to meet them. Hu Shuo agreed without hesitation. Due to the incident with Xia Xian, Hu Shuo's studio had become very famous. His net worth had also risen. He wouldn't normally accept a job from others, but he was very willing to help Shi Shang, who had given him the opportunity to soar to the skies. Hu Shuo bribed many paparazzi and brought a group of people to look for Jiang Yuan. Jiang Yuan saw so many media outlets and felt that he could definitely make Jiang Yuan give in. No matter how powerful she was still a woman. In a traditional country, being unfaithful, unfilial, heartless, and unjust was a big taboo. Jiang Yuan's thinking was really stupid. He didn't think about how the entertainment industry could be as simple as his neighborhood. Jiang Zhenzhen felt uneasy and felt that this was wrong. Unfortunately, she couldn't persuade Jiang Yuan. They were waiting for the news the next day and for Shi Shang to apologize to them. But nothing happened. The next day, nothing happened. Well, it wasn't that they didn't discover anything. Shi Shang updated their wedding photos and the last picture was still RMB. The next few days were still peaceful. Shi Shang fed them dog food regularly and the last picture was RMB folded into various pictures. The fans were already very calm about Shi Shang's behavior of showing off her husband. Of course, there were also people who scolded her, but they were too inconspicuous and were quickly replaced by people who licked the screen. Just as Jiang Yuan couldn't wait any longer, there was finally news online. However, it was completely different from what he had expected. The article described how the family took over the younger brother's family property and mistreated their niece. In the end, when the niece started a company with her own ability, they still wanted a share of the profits. Hu Shuo's writing was excellent and with the reputation of his studio, the netizens naturally believed it. Soon, someone dug out information about Jiang Yuan's family. It was immediately matched with a few obscure points mentioned in the article. In the city where Jiang Yuan lived, there were naturally people who liked Shi Shang. There were also many people around Jiang Yuan. They only knew that the Jiang family had a celebrity, but they didn't know that there was such a story behind it. Those who were more familiar with her knew that Jiang Yuan didn't have a good time back then. The clothes she was wearing were all Jiang Zhenzhen's leftovers. She hadn't changed into any new clothes all year round. There was almost no need to deliberately dig up some of Jiang Yuan's family's bad habits were exposed. Jiang Yuan wanted to use the power of the internet to deal with her, so she would return the favor. The fans on the internet began to denounce Jiang Yuan's family. The hotel they were staying at was posted by Hu Shuo using his alternate account. For a time, Jiang Yuan's family was almost blocked in the hotel. Little Meatball has never mistreated you. The Carlyle Hotel's presidential suite costs more than 10,000 yuan per night. How dare you say that Little Meatball is ungrateful? There really are all kinds of birds in the forest. Little Meatball is just a relative of yours. What right do you have to covet Little Meatball's family property? Are you guys shameless? Do you think our Little Meatball has no one? I'm not a Meatball fan, but to be fair, Jiang Yuan is indeed magnanimous. If it were me, I would definitely make them spit out every single cent that they stole from me. Jiang Yuan's family couldn't leave at all. They were even blocked and scolded. Great, Jiang Yuan that ingrate. How dare she do this to I? Jiang Yuan cursed angrily. Dad, what should we do now? Jiang Zhenzhen was a little scared. The people outside were too scary. Was this the power of fans? Thinking of this, she actually felt a little envious and jealous. Jiang Yuan was stumped by Jiang Zhenzhen's question. In the end, he was just an ordinary citizen. How could he have come into contact with such things? Right now, his mind was blank and he didn't know what to do. Shishang didn't think that Jiang Zhenzhen would dare to look for him. He smiled silently and raised his chin at her. Have a seat. Why are you looking for me? Xiao Wan, no matter what, we're sisters. My dad is your uncle. How could you let people talk about us like that? Jiang Zhenzhen's eyes were red as she complained tearfully. She didn't want to lower her head to her, but Jiang Yuan said that if she didn't lower her head, how could she get those things? For the company, for money. What did I let people talk about you guys like that? Shishang blinked innocently. Jiang Zhenzhen's face was so red that it could bleed. She didn't know if it was from anger or embarrassment. Her hands by her side clenched tightly. You let people talk about us online. She couldn't finish her sentence. Oh, didn't you guys do it before? Yorubi *TCH and you still want a chastity? Do you really think I'm as easy to bully as that silly girl Jiang Yuan? You gave those things to us yourself. Jiang Zhenzhen suddenly raised her head and roared loudly. She didn't hide the hatred in her eyes at all. Back then, I was young and didn't know any better. It was your family who coaxed me to hand them over. I didn't know who you were, so I didn't pursue the money. Now, you're thinking about my company. Do you think I'm still as stupid as before? In terms of eloquence, Jiang Zhenzhen naturally couldn't compare to Shishang. Moreover, she wasn't in the right. After Jiang Zhenzhen left, Jiang Yuan and Mother Jiang took turns to look for her. Everything they said was the same. They were relatives. You're already rich. How can you not help us? Help my ass. On the 9th of September, the wedding was held on a small island overseas. Jiang Yuan's family was quite thick-skinned. Even with so many people scolding them, they still followed them. When they saw the lavishly decorated venue, their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. No one knew what this family was thinking. They actually didn't cause any trouble. Shishang got people to keep an eye on them and kick them out immediately if they caused any trouble. The wedding was broadcasted live online. This was considered a benefit that Shishang gave to his fans. That grand wedding allowed the fans to see what a real rich family was like. After the wedding, Shishang went back to filming, earning money, and spending money. However, Jiang Yuan's family seemed to be at odds with Shishang. They refused to leave the capital. Jiang Zhenzhen even entered the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry was a huge dye vat. Without Shishang doing anything, Jiang Zhenzhen was dyed in all sorts of colors. She used some unknown methods to get a few small roles. In the end, she even latched onto Lu Dapeng. Who was Lu Dapeng? He was Lin Shanshan's previous sugar daddy, a member of the Lu family. Lu Dapeng was also unlucky. He saw Jiang Zhenzhen at the wedding. Because the family was very obedient, Lu Depeng didn't know about the relationship between Jiang Zhenjin and Shi Sheng. When he met Jiang Zhenjin for the second time, the two immediately got together. However, after that, Jiang Zhenjin asked him to deal with Shi Shang's Mantian Entertainment. He was so scared that he almost couldn't get an erection. Damn it, he was really unlucky. Why did he always offend the young master? Lu Depeng was smart. He didn't show it on the surface, but he turned around and reported it to Lu Qingyun. Jiang Zhenjin was now the young mistress of the Lu family. He couldn't afford to offend her. Lu Depeng received Lu Qingyun's instructions and didn't dare to show any mercy to Jiang Zhenjin. He didn't do anything. He just brought Jiang Zhenjin to various events. He didn't agree to any of Jiang Zhenjin's requests. If Jiang Zhenjin wanted those things, she would have to sell her body. In that circle, Jiang Zhenjin's reputation was extremely bad. Originally, there wasn't this part, but I woke up this morning to make up for it. Please vote. Chapter 49. Jiang Yuan didn't have a good life in Beijing either. He was a gambler to begin with and had already lost most of Jiang Yuan's assets. He thought that he would become rich after coming to Beijing, but who knew that he would meet with a nose full of dust? In his depression, he started gambling again. His remaining savings were all gone. Mother Jiang was so angry that she almost fought with him. Just as they were arguing, the hotel staff actually told them to pack up and leave. The two of them immediately joined forces, unwilling to leave. They knew that the place they were staying in now cost 10,000 yuan per night. In total, they had stayed here for a month and had spent 300,000 yuan. The hotel staff didn't care about their complaints and called the security guards to throw them out. Faced with the tough security guards, Jiang Yuan could only leave dejectedly. However, he kept cursing Shi Sheng. When Shi Sheng heard the news, she sneered. They weren't staying in such a good place for nothing. Would they still be willing to go back to that small city? The answer was definitely no. Jiang Zhenjin still had some money, so she rented a house for Jiang Yuan and Mother Jiang. Jiang Yuan went to Mantian Entertainment every day to look for Shi Sheng, but he couldn't find her. Jiang Yuan's gambling addiction grew stronger and stronger. He gambled away all the money Jiang Zhenjin brought back. In the end, he even forced Jiang Zhenjin to sell herself. Mother Jiang and Jiang Yuan started fighting. After being hit by Jiang Yuan a few times, she couldn't take it anymore and ran away. Without Mother Jiang, Jiang Yuan became more and more reckless. In the end, he lost the bet and sold Jiang Zhenjin while he ran away. 2 years later, Shi Shang won the Best Actress award and then announced that she was leaving the entertainment industry. Meatball's fans couldn't accept it. But when they saw that their little Meatball was still showing off her husband, they calmed down. Even if little Meatball was no longer in the entertainment industry, she was still their little Meatball. 5 years later, Shi Shang gave Old Master Lu $1 billion USD. Then, Old Master Lu gave it to Lu Qingyun and Lu Qingyun gave it to Shi Shang. Shi Shang, who had completed her mission in an instant, wanted to divorce Lu Qingyun on the spot. Lu Qingyun was dumbfounded. He didn't understand his wife's actions. Was she buying her freedom with money? It was really stressful to have a rich wife. If it weren't for Old Master Lu stopping them, they might have really agreed with some of the fans. There were many people who married into wealthy families, but there were also many divorces from wealthy families. Although they didn't get a divorce, Shi Shang didn't stay with Lu Qingyun anymore and started to run around the world. Meatball's fans realized that their little Meatball was no longer showing off her husband and had started to dig a hole for herself. From being a superstar in the entertainment industry, she had become an author. Her fame was actually quite good, and she had attracted a wave of fans for her novels. The only bad thing was that Little Meatball's novels always had miraculous endings with miraculous twists. Otherwise, they would be completely unfinished. But they still liked Little Meatball. Every time Little Meatball opened the pit, they would line up and jump in wave after wave. This is an illness that needs to be treated. Before Old Master Lu passed away, he forced them to swear that they would never divorce. Shi Shang thought that there was no one he liked anyway, so he agreed. Lu Qingyun felt that it wasn't a bad idea for Shi Shang to be the mistress of the Lu family. Since he couldn't be bothered to find another woman, he agreed to old Master Lu's request. The two of them lived their own lives. They had nothing to do with each other, yet they were closely related. Shi Shang only found out about the feud between Lu Qingyun and Mo a long time later. Tang Yen had an older brother, Tang Yu, who had a close relationship with Lu Qingyun. Back then, the parents of the two families had said that the marriage was between him and Tang Yu. But because both of them were boys, the marriage was given to Tang Yen, who was born later. Lu Qingyun had a heart condition. Back then, it was diagnosed that he didn't have long to live. Tang Yen was unwilling to marry someone who was about to die, so she made a fuss about breaking off the marriage. Before Tang Yen could break off the marriage, Tang Yu died in a car accident, and the culprit was Mo. Lu Qingyun was targeting Mo because he wanted to take revenge for Tang Yu. In the next few years, whenever Mo took over the Shi family's business, he would definitely be attacked by Lu Qingyun. Without the halo of the female lead, the huge Shi family was tormented until there wasn't much left. In the end, he was left with a small company to survive. Mo wasn't successful either. He married the daughter of a high-ranking official, and his financial lifeline was controlled by that woman. As for Tang Yen, after Tang Yin returned to the Tang family and took control of the family, she got married. Her mother-in-law made things difficult for her, and her husband despised her. She didn't have a good life until she gave birth to a son. But when a few young and beautiful women appeared by her husband's side, her life became difficult again. Xiaoman and Tang Yin got together. She was successful in the entertainment industry and became the queen of the entertainment industry. In this life, Shi Shang only lived to the age of 42 and passed away due to illness. Her departure made the fans who had liked her for 20 years very sad. They all started praying for Shi Shang. Even if she wasn't in the entertainment industry, her fans weren't any less than any other celebrity. She had a large number of loyal fans from all walks of life. She left behind many legends. Whether it was in the entertainment industry, the web novel industry, or even the business world, there were rumors about her. She was arrogant and conceited. But she had the right to be arrogant and conceited. She was Jiang Wan, their beloved little meatball. Shi Shang returned to the system space and sat unhappily in front of the book that was half the height of a person. "Host, are you unhappy?" The cold electronic voice faintly fluctuated. Shi Shang propped up his chin. The words "I'm unhappy, please coax me" were written all over his face. "Host, do you feel that after living in that world for so long, you've developed feelings for the people there?" Silence. A deathly silence. "Host, can you squeak to prove that you're still breathing?" Shi Shang moved his eyes and spat out a string of words. "I haven't opened my new pit yet. I'm not happy. Can you send me back so that I can open my new pit? I've been thinking about it for a long time. It'll be a pity if I don't open it." Hee, with the host's personality, how could he be unhappy for someone else? It was really F***ket up. It decided to ignore the host who was having a fit. The screen showed the data this time. Name, Shi Shang morality points, 100,000 mission grade. F mission score, 88 mission points, 3,500 hidden mission. Completed, due to the host's opportunistic nature, the reward is halved. Hidden mission reward, 2,000 mission points, special item, time gap, one-time use item, Shi Shang, opportunistic nature. Damn it, isn't the money she earns still money? Also, why did my morality points go back? System, can't you explain it to me? Host, you've opened a total of 28 novels in this world. 22 of them were eunuchs. One of them was negative 100 morality points. Rounding it up, it's negative 2,000 morality points. You've gained 1,000 morality points this time. After offsetting it, it's still negative 1,000 morality points. Does the host have any questions? Shi Shang. Flips table, you didn't say that I'll lose my morality points if I write eunuchs. Host, can you check the plot after you leave? Check my ass, I'm not going to check. Shi Shang rudely replied and stared at the negative morality points. He was in a very bad mood. Do you want to enter the next mission? Beginning transmission. Damn it, system, do you have to act on your own every time? I'm going to be angry, okay? Book Review 500 plus more. This world is over, the third story, cultivation, equals carrot carrot. Smiley face. The female lead is more difficult. Please don't use logic, asking for votes, yeah. P.S. About the female lead's money-making skills, as well as the strange things on her body, these will be written later. It's not a bug in the novel, but the female lead herself is a bug. Thanks again to Cherub for reading the novel. Chapter 50. As soon as Shi Shang opened her eyes, she saw an endless sea of flames. She was standing in the middle of the flames. Her skin was boiling hot, her mouth was dry, and her hair had long since turned to ashes. She didn't know what her clothes were made of. They weren't damaged, but they still couldn't withstand the scorching heat. F***CK, this is such a good time. Are they trying to burn me to death? Shi Shang looked around, trying to find a way out. However, there were only flames here. There was no end in sight, and she couldn't see anything. Waves of scorching heat swept over her. She had only woken up for a short while, but she couldn't take it anymore. She could even hear the sizzling sound of her exposed skin being roasted. Flip's table. What the hell is this place? System, come out. I want to talk to you about life. Martial Ant, wake up. Martial Ant, wake up. Suddenly, a voice sounded in the room. Is there someone here? Martial Ant, this is an illusion. Wake up. Shi Shang was stunned. She frowned. An illusion? Did she enter a fantasy novel? Damn, even if it was a fantasy novel, how could it be an illusion? This didn't make sense. Shi Shang gritted her teeth and closed her eyes to calm herself down. The sound of the flames burning around her gradually faded away. The temperature slowly dropped, and the pain all over her body disappeared. She felt cool. Phew. Shi Shang opened her eyes abruptly. Her chest rose and fell quickly. In her line of sight, there was a rather cute young girl looking at her with a worried expression. Seeing her open her eyes, the girl let out a sigh of relief. Martial Ant, you scared me to death. The girl's face was full of relief. Shi Shang looked at the girl calmly. She was wearing a white robe. It was similar to the style of this body, but the color was different. This body's robe was dark blue. Personal disciple. These words automatically appeared in her mind. The plot and memories came flooding back. Shi Shang's head swelled and her vision turned dark. She heard the girl calling her anxiously, but her consciousness was getting further and further away from her. This was a novel about leveling up and fighting monsters. The female lead, Yi Qingqiu, was the story of a nascent soul cultivator who was reborn into the body of a concubine daughter of the Yi clan in the mortal world, who was not favored by the Yi clan. Her meridians and marrow were cleansed, and she once again stepped onto the path of cultivation. When Yi Qingqiu was accepted as a disciple by the Misty sect of the cultivation world, she was tested to have a single water spirit root. The water spirit root was almost universally recognized as a human furnace in the cultivation world. But would the female lead become a human furnace? The answer was definitely impossible. The female lead was accepted as a direct disciple by the Misty sect's sect master. This sect master was also the first male supporting character. With the first male supporting character's protection, the female lead was able to play very well in the Misty sect. Concocting pills, refining tools, formations and talismans, there was nothing the female lead didn't know. At a time like this, how could they let the female lead stand out by herself? The cannon fodder female supporting characters naturally went into action. And the original host was one of them. The host was called Shang Shu, the direct disciple of Heaven's Edge Peak's Peak Lord, Yu Xiao. Shang Shu liked her senior brother Chu Yi, but Chu Yi liked Yi Qingqiu. Shang Shu naturally started to provoke him. This was the responsibility of a female supporting character. During the annual examination, Shu originally wanted to teach the female lead a lesson, but she was the one who was taught a lesson instead. Her cultivation dropped to the 8th layer of qi refining. In the cultivation world, the qi refining stage was divided into 10 layers. After that was foundation establishment, golden core, nascent soul, soul formation, great ascension, and tribulation passing. Shu was about to reach foundation establishment, but she dropped 2 layers in an instant. This made the original host very uncomfortable and made her hate the female lead even more. Fortunately, Shu's master was really considerate of Shu. He asked the sect master for a pill to help Shu recover her strength. After that, Shu began to focus on cultivation. She wanted to surpass the female lead and attract Chu Ye's attention. During the 50-year exchange between the major sects, when Shu fought with the female lead, she used some underhanded methods. Later on, the female lead was almost humiliated. The person who was caught actually said that it was Shu who ordered it. But Shu knew that she didn't do it. In a fit of anger, the sect master wanted to cripple Shu's cultivation. Shu tried to defend herself, but no one believed her. Only her master, Yu Shao, stood up for her. Yu Shao stopped the furious sect master and bore the brunt of his anger. Although it wasn't enough to cripple Shu's cultivation, Shu still received a severe punishment. Chu Yi hated the original host even more. As an evil female supporting character, she naturally wouldn't give up just like that. During one of her training sessions, Shu once again courted death. But she didn't expect to break the demon seal. Yu Shao was corroded by the demon qi in order to save Shu, and the female lead pushed Shu into the demon qi in order to save Chu Yi. Yu Shao used the last of his strength to send Shu out again. Unfortunately, Shu's luck was bad. She fell into the demon realm and was corroded by the demon qi. Her appearance was ruined and her cultivation was crippled. She thought she would die, but she didn't. After enduring that period, she discovered that her cultivation was slowly recovering. She worked hard to cultivate and finally escaped when the demon seal was broken. She wanted to take revenge on the female lead. She colluded with a very ambitious man from the demon race. The two of them plotted to lure the female lead into a secret realm. The man wanted to rape the female lead, but he was killed by the male lead who arrived later. Although Shu ran away, she was quickly found by the male lead. Shu died miserably. She was tortured to death by the male lead's 1,000 cuts. That kind of pain was not something an ordinary person could imagine. Shu hated Yi Qingqiu, but more than that, she regretted it. Her last wish was not to let Yu Shao die. If possible, she wanted to stay by Yu Zhao's side forever. She wanted revenge. Junior sister hasn't woken up yet? Master, she hasn't. Master said. Martial Ant's cultivation has regressed. Martial Ant was clearly about to reach foundation establishment. If Martial Ant had reached foundation establishment this year, then she would have been the youngest foundation establishment disciple in the Misty sect. Now that everything has been ruined, Martial Ant would definitely be very sad if she knew. AI. As soon as Shang regained consciousness, she heard a long sigh. Martial Ant, you're awake. A girl's surprised voice exploded in Shang's ears. Master, hurry and call for Master. Shang's temples throbbed. The swelling pain was unbearable. It took a while for it to calm down. Standing by her bed was the girl she saw before. Lin Yi, a disciple of Heaven's Edge Peak. She had a good relationship with the original owner. How long have I been asleep? Shang licked her dry lips. Her voice was very hoarse. Her throat felt like it was on fire. Even swallowing was difficult. It's been 3 days. Martial Ant, drink some water. Master will be here soon. Lin Yi turned around and poured a cup of water. She carefully fed Shang. The cool water moistened her throat. Only then did Shang feel better. She looked at the simple decorations around her and lowered her eyes. The obscure light was blocked by her eyelids. This was the scene where the original owner's cultivation regressed. Asterisk la 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 la, a new week has begun. Please vote. Don't the cherub people vote? Chapter 51. Yu Xiao arrived very quickly. His expression was cold, but there was a hint of worry in his eyes. He walked past Lin Yi and sat down beside Shi Sheng. Xiao Shu, you're awake. Tell me if you feel uncomfortable. His voice was very pleasant to the ears, but his tone was stiff and indifferent. It was as if he didn't know what tone to use to talk to her. Yu Xiao looked very young. His face was handsome and his eyes were like a painting. He exuded a cold aura that kept people away. He was a master of abstinence. Is Shang Shu stupid? Damn, her master is so handsome, but she didn't want him and went to torment that Chu Yi. She's really picking a turtle among pearls. Shi Shang looked away and shook his head. I'm not uncomfortable. That's good. Yu Xiao was still expressionless. You've learned your lesson this time. Don't provoke Yi Qingqiu in the future. As a supporting female lead, how could she not provoke the female lead? Disciple will remember. Even if she wanted to cause trouble for the female lead, she definitely couldn't tell Yu Xiao. Yu Xiao's eyes flashed with surprise when his rebellious disciple suddenly became so obedient. However, he only thought that she had learned her lesson and didn't think too much about it. Master, are we just going to let this go? Lin Yi said indignantly. I saw Yi Qingqiu do it with my own eyes. The man standing beside Lin Yi stopped her from continuing. Master. Why didn't he let her say it? It was clearly Yi Qingqiu who made martial uncle end up like this. The man was Shang Shu's senior brother, Bai Lang. As the peak lord of Heaven's Edge Peak, Yu Xiao could take in 2 personal disciples. Before he met Shang Shu, he only took in Bai Lang as his personal disciple. He only took in Shang Shu after he picked her up. Yes, Shang Shu was picked up by Yu Xiao. Lin Yi was Bai Lang's disciple and was a generation younger than her. Don't disturb Xiao Shu's rest. You can all leave. Yu Xiao waved his hand indifferently. Remember not to talk about the test outside. Yes, master. Lin Yi looked at her master with a hint of resentment before turning back to Shi Sheng. Martial uncle, rest well. After Lin Yi and her disciple left, Yu Xiao, with his expressionless face, said a few words of Shi Sheng symbolically before leaving. Shi Sheng exhaled heavily. In the previous 2 planes, the original owner of the body was a supporting female character who was used as cannon fodder. But in this plane, she was already a supporting female character who had dug her own grave. So it would only get harder and harder to reach the later planes? The main character of this world was obviously the female lead. Yi Qingqiu was an almighty nascent soul cultivator in her past life who was betrayed and died, so it was very hard for her to trust people. But as the author wrote, the female lead became someone who was willing to kill innocent people for her own goals. It wasn't obvious in the early stages, but when the original owner died, there was already a trend. Later on, when the female lead left the cultivation world and ascended to the immortal world, her worldview was almost destroyed. Compared to White Lotus and Green Tea Bitch, this kind of vicious and merciless female lead was much harder to deal with. The original owner's last wish was to accompany Yu Xiao for a lifetime. Motherf asterisk Ker, this is cultivation. Long, long, long. If he accidentally ascended, wouldn't she have to work hard to ascend as well? Just the thought of it was terrifying. Just like the plot, Yu Xiao brought a pill to help Shi Sheng recover. Shi Sheng didn't want to eat it at first, but then he thought about it. The female lead's golden finger was thick and long. If she didn't recover her strength, it would be awkward if she couldn't win in a fight. So Shi Sheng could only eat the pill and go into seclusion to recover. This seclusion lasted for a year. Not only did it help Shi Sheng recover his cultivation, but he also successfully built his foundation. The original owner had a mutated ice spirit root. Shi Sheng flipped his hand and threw out an icicle. Who knew that the door would suddenly open and the icicle would fly out? Ah! Lin Yi's scream came from outside the door. Shi Shang. Lin Yi was at the 7th level of Qi refining, right? And she had a fire spirit root. What the hell was she screaming for? A strange noise came from outside. Then Shi Shang saw Lin Yi come in with a sullen face. There were water stains on her body and she looked a little battered. Martial uncle. Why did he stab her with icicles the moment he came in? Cough cough. I was just trying to see if it worked. Lin Yi blinked and then asked in surprise, Martial uncle, you've built your foundation? That's great. I knew Martial uncle was the best. Hey, why are you answering your own question? And you're only at the 7th level of Qi refining. How could you tell that I've built my foundation? After Lin Yi's excitement subsided, Shi Shang realized that she was just guessing. No one else could get excited by guessing. All right, Master said that you'll come out of seclusion today and asked you to go find him. Lin Yi remembered that she was here to pass on a message. Ever since she came here, she had only seen Yu Xiao twice. The first time was when she woke up. The second time was when Yu Xiao gave her the pill. After that, she went into seclusion. This was the third time she saw Yu Xiao. Yu Xiao still looked like an ascetic male god. His eyes were cold, as if the worry she saw in his eyes was just an illusion. Xiao Shu. You've built your foundation? Yu Xiao could tell Shi Shang's cultivation level at a glance. In the original owner's memories, this master had always been cold. He wasn't strict with her, but he didn't spoil her either. So the original owner was a bit afraid of this master. I accidentally broke through. It really was an accident. She had cultivated according to Shang Shu's memories. Perhaps it was because this fellow's talent was better, but she had built her foundation very smoothly. It seems the things I prepared won't be of any use. Yu Xiao nodded slightly and put away the things on the table. In a few days, the sect will be going to the mortal world to recruit new disciples. Your senior brother will be leading the team. If you want to go, just tell Bai Lang. Shi Shang looked at Yu Xiao's actions and couldn't help but ridicule him in his heart. This expressionless master is a master with a fiery heart. Disciple understands. Yi Qingqiu will be going to the mortal world, right? She'll also meet the male lead there. That's right, the male and female leads had met long ago. It was just that the male lead had only appeared for less than a chapter. Moreover, he had appeared in a very sorry state. If she hadn't watched the entire drama, she wouldn't have thought that person was the male lead. If I don't go, I'll be letting down this evil female supporting character. No matter what, I have to do some damage. Yu Xiao looked at Shi Shang suspiciously. Why do I feel like my disciple looked a bit sinister just now? But when he looked carefully, that feeling was gone. Is it because I'm too tired from refining pills in seclusion? You can leave. Shi Shang left Yu Xiao's room and looked back at Yu Xiao's cave. Yu Xiao was able to do that for Shang Shu in the end, but from what she saw in the plot, Yu Xiao had never revealed any romantic feelings for Shang Shu. So either Yu Xiao hid it too well, or he really did treat Shang Shu as his daughter. Shang Shu only said that she would accompany Yu Xiao for a lifetime, but she didn't say in what capacity. There was quite a lot of room for manipulation. #host, if you continue like this, I'm going to release Lord Villain #, please vote. Chapter 52. In the cultivation world, disciples with spirit roots were either from cultivation families or from large sections. If they wanted more disciples, they could only go to the mortal world. Every 3 years, the Misty Sect would send disciples to the mortal world to look for disciples with spirit roots. Every year, a large group of people would go, but out of 10 people, only 1 would return. From this, it could be seen that there were very few people in the mortal world who could cultivate with spirit roots. Since there were so few of them, why did these sects not get tired of running to the mortal world? That was because many of the almighty cultivators who became famous in the cultivation world and even ascended to immortality came from the mortal world. No one knew why the mortal world, which lacked spirit energy, became a cradle for geniuses. So even if they couldn't get anything, the large sects were still willing to run to the mortal world. Not only could they let their disciples gain experience, they might even be able to pick up the next almighty cultivator. As a veteran reader who had read countless pornographic novels, cultivation novels, Shi Sheng only wanted to say, this was all a ploy. The protagonist's life must be miserable. His parents must die, his entire family must die, he must be framed by his clansmen, he must fall off a cliff, meet an old grandpa, obtain a strange inheritance, and then embark on the path of cultivation. He must fight monsters to level up and feel good about slapping faces. So the mortal world produced geniuses. It was all for the sake of slapping faces. I came from the mortal world, but I can also defeat you people who boast about being born a cut above others and have a sense of superiority. Isn't it awesome? Isn't it cool? Shi Sheng immediately saw Yi Qingqiu in the crowd. Damn, it's hard not to see her when she's standing so high up. She stood behind the sect master, looking like an aloof goddess. Her disdainful attitude made it seem like the people standing below her were all ants. Shi Sheng. Why did this treasure decipher such a strange message? Yi Qingqiu seemed to sense Shi Sheng's gaze and glanced in his direction. Her disdainful gaze almost made Shi Sheng jump up. F***CK, there's something wrong with this female lead. At this time, the female lead shouldn't have collapsed yet. Martial Uncle Shi Sheng. A clear female voice suddenly rang out, interrupting Shi Sheng's observation of Yi Qingqiu. Shi Sheng turned to look at the girl for a few seconds. Chu Ning. There was a man standing next to Chu Ning. He was also wearing a dark blue Taoist robe. He looked very bright and looked at her with disgust. Was this Chu Yi? He was Chu Ning's brother. The man that the original owner used to like. Compared to the jade flute, the difference was like heaven and earth. Shang Shu was indeed a fool. Martial Uncle, are you going as well? Chu Ning's eyes were filled with hostility and wariness. Yes. Shi Sheng nodded casually and looked at Bai Lang. Senior brother is calling me. I'll go over first. She didn't want to have anything to do with these two people. Chu Yi was still alright. Because he liked Yi Qingqiu, even though he didn't manage to become a supporting male lead, he still managed to become a lackey. Chu Ning, on the other hand, was in trouble. She had a brother complex, and because Chu Yi liked Yi Qingqiu, she often caused trouble for Yi Qingqiu. She even logged off before the evil supporting female lead. Chu Yi looked at Shi Sheng's back and furrowed his brows. This woman, what is she trying to do? When did she not want to pounce on me? Why is it that after a year, she looks at me like I'm a stranger? To go from the cultivation world to the mortal world, one had to cross a long sea, so flying magic tools were required. Spirit tools were commonly seen in the cultivation world. Magic tools were public property of the sect and had to be returned after they were used. So when Yi Qingqiu took out a private flying magic tool, many people's eyes turned red with jealousy. She even has a flying magic tool. Why aren't we lucky enough to be accepted as direct disciples by the sect master? Haha, do you think you can have one just because you're accepted as a direct disciple by the sect master? You're thinking too much. This is the female lead's own. Yi Qingqiu only brought a few people who were related to her. The others had to squeeze in with the sect's public flying magic tools. After Shi Sheng finished watching Yi Qingqiu show off, he and Bai Lang boarded a boat-shaped flying magic tool. The space was quite big. Plus, it was reserved for disciples who might come back. It was very spacious. They could even lie down and roll around a few times. With so many people, they would definitely go to different places. The flying magic tools were divided into 4 directions. Along the way, they would drop people off at various places. When it was time to go back, they would send a signal to the place where they were dropped off. Because Bai Lang was in the lead, his final stop was the last stop. Shi Sheng, however, got off midway. Bai Lang was a bit worried. Master had told him to look after his junior sister. Shi Sheng repeatedly promised that he wouldn't do anything rash. Only then did Bai Lang let 2 disciples go with her. Shi Sheng got off and left the 2 disciples behind. Then, He headed towards the Forest of Death. This name. I don't want to complain at all. It's 2F** King Perfunctory. The male lead's first appearance was here. As for why the female lead, who was thousands of miles away, would appear here, he could only sigh at how powerful the plot was. Even if one was at the North Pole and the other at the South Pole, they would still meet. It was all because of love. Red tree. Sher Shang muttered as he walked. Is this tree on its period? And it's completely red. Roar. A strange-looking creature suddenly jumped out of the dense bushes. Its huge body landed on the ground, causing the ground to tremble. Sher Shang stood in front of it, feeling as if he was standing in front of an elephant. It wasn't wrong to say that it looked strange. Have you ever seen a tiger with scales? Have you ever seen a tiger with horns on its head? Is this AF** King Tiger? I don't know what the hell this is. The cultivation world is really scary. The cultivation world created by the author is even scarier. Roar. Roar. The tiger's eyes were red. It looked as if it was going to eat Sher Shang. Roar your head. Villains die because they talk too much. Sher Shang raised his hand and shot out a bunch of icicles. They were polygonal in shape and looked a bit like shuttles. However, they were longer than shuttles. Recently, she was the best at using this skill. It was just that the attack range was a bit large. After she practiced it a few times, she could control some of the icicles. However, she could only control a few of them. But it was enough. The tiger was only thinking about dodging the icicles. It didn't notice that 3 icicles were shooting back at it. Puff. Puff. There were 2 sounds of something hard piercing its body. The tiger's bell-like eyes widened. How could this weak human hurt it? The tiger's lower abdomen was pierced by the icicles. Red blood flowed down the icicles like a small stream. Its huge body fell to the ground. It opened its eyes and panted heavily as it looked at the human standing in front of it. Although its body was covered with scales, its lower abdomen was not. The icicles pierced through it easily. What a pity! Sher Shang shook his head in disappointment. I only hit 2 of them. It seems that I still have to practice. The tiger. It was unfortunate that it met a monster. 20 years later, I will be a good tiger again. I will come back for revenge. * Please vote. Please reward 700 recommendation votes and updates. P.S. This article will be published and will be paid for. I've said it many times. So when it's published, Cherub, please control your anger and don't curse. The author is not a god. She still needs to eat. As for when it will be published, it depends on the editor. I don't know the exact time. Chapter 53. There were quite a few spirit beasts in the Forest of Death. Their levels weren't high, so Sher Shang only treated them as practice. However, those spirit beasts all died miserably. After walking in, Sher Shang finally found the red tree. It really was red. From top to bottom, inside and out, everything was red. It was so dazzling. How did she know it was red inside? Oh, she chopped the tree down. This tree should be a special item, but even after Sher Shang cut it into pieces, there was nothing out of the ordinary. Is it because I'm not the female lead? I don't have an accident body? Even the props were so complicated now? Scary. Tree. F***ck, at least give me a chance to show off. You chopped me down right away and I didn't even have time to react. After chopping down the tree, Sher Shang sat down on the trunk of the tree and looked up at the sky. Wait for the male lead. She only knew that the female lead met the male lead under this tree, but as for how the male lead appeared here, only the author knew. Sher Shang waited until she was about to turn into a rock, but there was still no sign of the male lead. Could it be that there was more than one red tree in the Forest of Death? Should she go out for a walk? Sher Shang went out to take a look. She didn't see any other red trees, though she did encounter a few barely normal spirit beasts. By the time she finished dealing with those spirit beasts and returned to where she had been, she saw a person collapsed next to the tree's corpse. F***CK, F***CK. So you need me to leave? Shi Shang took out the long sword that Yu Xiao gave her before she left. She walked up to the person in a few steps and stabbed him in the back. Pooh! Stop! These two voices rang out at the same time. The first was the sound of a sword stabbing into a body, while the second was a woman's cold rebuke. Shi Shang maintained her stabbing posture and turned to look at the source of the sound. She raised her eyebrows. Oh, isn't this Junior Martial Sister Yi? Yi Qingqiu was dressed in a purple Taoist robe that was covered in dirt. Her hair was a mess, but her face was clean and beautiful. Her eyes were filled with a sharp and arrogant coldness. What are you doing? Yi Qingqiu asked coldly. Murder. Are you blind? Shi Shang spoke as if it was a matter of course and righteous. What was going on with this Shang Shu? She was completely different from a year ago. Could it be that she had also been reincarnated? Yi Qingqiu narrowed her eyes. He has no enmity with you. If you kill him for no reason, you will be tainted by karma. I don't like him, so I have a reason to kill him. Shi Shang pulled out his sword in front of Yi Qingqiu and stabbed down. His movements were fluid and smooth. This fellow was the murderer of the assassin Shang Shu in her previous life. How could she kill him for no reason? This was karma. He was the cause, and she was the effect. You. Yi Qingqiu hadn't expected Shi Shang to do this. She could only watch as a bloody hole appeared on the back of the man whose face she couldn't see clearly. She didn't know why, but when she saw this man, she had a strong intuition that she had to save him. Seeing that Shi Shang was about to make a move, Yi Qingqiu made her move. A wall of water appeared out of thin air and aggressively pushed towards Shi Shang. Shi Shang quickly grabbed the man on the ground and used him as a shield. The wall of water couldn't be stopped in time and passed through the two of them. Shi Shang felt as if there were countless small whirlpools in the water that wanted to crush him. He immediately covered himself in a layer of ice. The water washed over the ice, making cracking sounds. As expected of the female lead. She could even use a water spirit root to such an extent. The system actually didn't give him a cheat in such a dangerous world. What a bad review! While Shi Shang was cursing the system in his heart, the layer of ice had already been washed away by the water. Shi Shang's expression darkened. He raised the sword in his hand and cut a hole in the wall of water. He let go of the man and nimbly passed through the hole, landing somewhere safe. On the other hand, the man's body was covered in blood and the entire wall of water had turned dark red. The wall of water disappeared and the man fell to the ground. His body was soaked in dark red blood and he looked like a bloody person. Perhaps the pain woke him up, but the man lay on the ground and looked at Yi Qingqiu weakly and miserably. He's not dead yet, Shi Shang muttered and made a move to stab him again. Yi Qingqiu immediately sent out a stream of water to wrap around the man and pull him in front of her. Junior Sister Yi, isn't this a little too unkind? Even if you want to kill him, there should be a first-come, first-serve rule, right? No matter what, I have to go first. A hint of viciousness flashed through Shi Shang's eyes. Why is the male lead so hard to kill? I've already stabbed him twice. If I knew this would happen, I would have just chopped off his head. Yi Qingqiu. When did I say I wanted to kill him? Male lead. Did I meet some kind of evil cultivator? Alright then. Since Junior Sister Yi wants him, I'll let you have him. But Junior Sister Yi, your habit of killing people after they've recovered isn't good. It's very easy to get bitten, so you have to be careful. Shi Shang kindly reminded Yi Qingqiu. Shang Shu, what nonsense are you spouting? Since when did I have this kind of habit? So fierce. I'm so scared. Shi Shang patted his chest and retreated. Although his words were colorful, his face was calm and his eyes were terrifyingly calm. That appearance made Yi Qingqiu even more cautious. She was certain that she had been taken over and reborn. If she could do it, then others could too. Should she kill her? No, she didn't know what kind of trump card this woman had. She couldn't act rashly. Yi Qingqiu's thoughts spun and she ran with the man in tow. She would deal with this woman when she returned to the Misty Sect. Shi Shang didn't chase after her. She believed that the male lead must have heard what she said just now. The male lead wasn't a kind person. He didn't have the kind of care the female lead had in the beginning, and he even heard those words. On top of that, he was injured by the female lead. Thinking about that scene, she was looking forward to it. Shi Shang felt that Lord Plotline wouldn't be happy if he didn't kill the supporting female lead. 3 days after separating from the female lead, they actually ran into each other again. Although the earth was round, could you finish walking around it in 3 days? And was this even earth? Yi Qingqiu was speechless. Why did she run into her again? What's chasing after you? Shi Shang took the time to ask Yi Qingqiu. That's right, they were running for their lives. There was something big chasing after them. How big? How would this baby know? Look at the fallen forest behind them and imagine how big that thing is. Dragon. Yi Qingqiu's answer was concise. What the hell? Dragon. It was reasonable for something like that to appear in the cultivation world, but how could there be such a big creature like a dragon in the mortal world? Alright, even if there was, why was it chasing after you? Female lead, what kind of crazy thing did you do? Don't drag this baby down with you. Asterisk 700 recommendation votes, 1100 recommendation votes for the next update. Cherub fans who want to add more chapters, vote hard. PS. The tiger in the previous chapter was just cannon fodder. Why do you think it's so pitiful? Chapter 54. After running for a while, Shi Shang realized that something was wrong. When she saw Yi Qingqiu carrying the male lead and rushing towards her, she didn't know what was wrong with her, but she immediately ran. Why am I running? It's not like they're after me. My IQ has dropped after meeting the female lead. Just as Shi Shang was about to turn and run, the huge creature chasing them rushed forward and blocked their path. Hiss! Shi Shang. What happened to the dragon? Why did it turn into a snake? This was a python that was more than 50 feet long, and its waist was at least as thick as 3 people. It raised its head and stared at them covetously. Its tail swept left and right, and the trees around them suddenly fell down with a crackling sound. Yi Qingqiu was puzzled. She clearly saw a dragon, so how did it turn into a snake? Could it be? My luck can't be that good, right? Rumble. As if to prove Yi Qingqiu's guess, the white and blue sky suddenly turned dark. From the dark clouds, there seemed to be an army charging towards them. A deafening sound echoed through the sky. F***CK. Shi Shang cursed and turned to run. Damn, this snake is about to undergo tribulation. How can a mere Foundation establishment trash like me withstand the lightning tribulation? I have to run. As soon as Shi Shang ran, Yi Qingqiu ran with her. She was carrying the unconscious male lead, but her speed wasn't any slower than Shi Shang's. Most importantly, that huge snake that's about to undergo tribulation is right behind us. In the original plot, although the original owner participated in this mission, she didn't stop midway. Naturally, she wouldn't have encountered this situation. But in the original plot, the female lead only saved the male lead here. She didn't experience being chased by a snake. I only chopped the male lead twice, but the plot has already collapsed beyond recognition? Shi Shang carefully observed the huge snake behind them. She realized that it was staring at Yi Qingqiu. Even if she was a step slower, the snake wouldn't attack her. Instead, it would stare at Yi Qingqiu. Did I take something from the snake? Based on the female lead's character, that might be the case. Hidden quest, Sovereign's Descent. I've been waiting for you for a long time. At this moment of life and death, you actually issued a quest. Do you still have any humanity? Host, this system is not alive. Naturally, it has no human nature. The system answered Shi Shang's question seriously. So, what's with the Sovereign's Descent? Let Feng Ci ascend to the throne of the immortal emperor. Feng Ci? Damn. Another F***king villain. Are all the hidden quests you give out related to the villains? And they were all the ultimate villains? During the mission, the host is not allowed to take advantage of the situation or change the concept of the mission. I hope that the host will not seek death and take the mission seriously. Friendly reminder: if the host directly causes the death of the male and female leads, all missions will be considered as a failure. The corresponding amount of the host's HP will be deducted. When the HP reaches 0, the host will be erased. Shi Shang. This rule. Why did it seem like it was made at the last minute? If I can't do it directly, I can do it indirectly. No. What's with the HP? Why wasn't it here before? System, don't randomly add strange settings. Friendly reminder: host only has 10 HP left. If we fail this mission, our HP will be reduced to 0. Shi Shang. System, you're so reckless. Are you going to manufacture it? Who is it doing this for? Isn't it all because of you? Shi Shang quickly cursed the system's entire family in his heart. The hidden missions issued by the system had a pattern. The ultimate boss, and that person was near her. In other words, Feng Ci was here? More and more dark clouds appeared in the sky, almost covering the entire forest of death. The spirit beasts in the forest of death all hid in safe places, so the entire forest was terrifyingly quiet. It was in such a quiet forest. A man in a moon-white gauze robe was walking slowly. Everywhere he passed, bright yellow flames would wreak havoc. With every step he took, flames would appear, but those flames were unable to burn the plants around him. It was an extremely strange sight. The flame that stepped out was at least 10 meters long. Beyond that, the flames would slowly extinguish and disappear. The man slightly raised his head. The dark clouds in the sky were reflected in his dark red pupils. His facial features were not particularly good-looking, but when put together, they had a soul-stirring beauty. He was like a white lotus blooming in comic fire, pure and untainted. He had a sacred feeling that could only be seen from afar and could not be profaned. Bang! The man slightly tilted his head. What he saw was a petite figure madly running towards him. Behind her was a shadow serpent. So it was the shadow serpent. The man took a few steps to the side and opened up a path for it. Seeing the burning flames, Shi Shang knew that this was Feng Ci. Without even thinking, he directly rushed towards him and shouted, "Handsome, lend me your fire." Feng Ci's expression did not change. He calmly watched Shi Shang rush over and then stood in the flames beside him. The shadow serpent sensed that the flames were not something it could withstand, so it quickly braked. However, its tail swept towards Shi Shang and Feng Ci due to inertia. Feng Ci gently raised his hand. A flame without heat shot out from his hand and easily deflected the shadow serpent's tail. Shi Shang. Oh my, as expected of a villain. With this strength, it would be no problem for him to instantly kill the female lead. Yi Qingqiu also came from the other side. When she saw Feng Ci, she was clearly stunned. Then, she calmly looked away. As expected, the female lead doesn't have any feelings for villains. The shadow serpent let out 2 indignant growls. However, it was afraid of Feng Ci's flames and did not dare to approach. Yi Qingqiu, who came from behind, was in a miserable state. She instantly became the shadow serpent's target. You don't feel anything from these flames? Feng Ci ignored the fight between Yi Qingqiu and the shadow serpent. Instead, he focused on Shi Shang. His eyes were dark red. Under the illumination of the flames, not only did they not appear dark, they were actually very bright and clear. They were like rubies in a display case, overflowing with light and vibrant colors, dazzling the eyes. Shi Shang lowered his head and looked at his feet. The flames quietly burned around her, but she could not feel any heat. However, she did not like it. After all, she had an ice spirit root. Fire and water were incompatible. Feng Ci reached out and carefully touched Shi Shang's cheek. When he touched Shi Shang, the flames suddenly sprang up and blocked Shi Shang's vision. However, she still could not feel any heat from the flames. Even though the flames were so close to her, she was not hurt at all. A trace of a smile flashed through Feng Xi's eyes. "You're very special. Follow me from now on." Shi Shang. "What? BBB, haven't even said anything yet? But wouldn't hiding anything conflict with the host's final wish? If she followed Feng Xi, what would happen to Yu Xiao? That stupid system said that as long as she failed a mission, she would be finished." Wait a minute. In the host's final wish, she seemed to have said that it was possible to accompany Yu Xiao? In other words, as long as she didn't let Yu Xiao die, she would complete the mission. Asterisk requesting votes, la la la. Chapter 55. Shi Shang recalled the plot and jumped out of the fire's range. *CK, I forgot about that. Feng Xi's eyelashes trembled as he watched her move. It was unknown what he was thinking, but his focused expression made it seem like he was looking at an extremely precious treasure. Feng Xi, the biggest villain in the novel, the ultimate obstacle that prevented the female lead from reaching the peak. He was born from the union of a phoenix and a dragon, but his body burned with a raging fire the moment he was born. The fire had no temperature, but it could burn anything alive to ashes. No one dared to approach him, not even his own parents. If they weren't careful, they would be burned by the fire. The phoenixes and dragons didn't get along, and Feng Xi was like this. His father felt that he was ominous and regretted being together with his mother. His mother abandoned Feng Xi for his father. Feng Xi. How ironic. The first time he appeared was in the celestial realm. The female lead had just ascended, and the male lead went to welcome her. Feng Xi just happened to come up from the lower realm, and the surrounding people all retreated. In the end, only the male and female lead remained standing. The female lead didn't know Feng Xi, but the male lead didn't get along with Feng Xi. The male lead was the young master of the dragon race, so he naturally didn't like Feng Xi, who was born from the union of a dragon and a phoenix. However, because of Feng Xi's uniqueness, he normally wouldn't provoke Feng Xi. But at that time, the female lead was present, so the male lead naturally couldn't back down and blocked Feng Xi's path. Feng Xi very arrogantly set fire to the ascension platform, and the fire burned for 3 whole days. At that time, the female lead revealed an expression of surprise and alertness, but the author didn't explain why. Now it seemed that they had met here before? Shi Shang patted her up and down to make sure she was fine. If that fire burns, BBB, will die. Why was I so stupid as to go in just now? I must have been chased by that thing until my IQ went offline. But, why am I fine? I stood there for so long just now. Even if there was a buffer, it should have been too long, right? Or am I, BBB, thick-skinned? Because the target is too special, the system gave you the bug to ignore Feng Xi's fire. So there really is a cheat. Then why didn't you give it to me before? Where's my newbie gift bag? Host, your focus is wrong. Also, how long are you going to remember the joke about the newbie gift pack? Senior Sister Shang. Yi Qingqiu charged towards her with the snake-legged behind her. *CK. Female lead Darren, what are you trying to do? Yi Qingqiu led the snake to the Shi Shang and reached out to push the Shi Shang. Shi Shang quickly grabbed Yi Qingqiu's wrist. Junior Sister Yi, what are you trying to do? Seeing that the shadow snake was about to reach them, Yi Qingqiu's expression hardened. I'll have to trouble Senior Sister Shang to help me block it. Senior Sister Shang, you won't leave me in the lurch, right? Yes. Shi Shang nodded decisively. He threw Yi Qingqiu aside and jumped back into Feng Xi's flames. The female lead was indeed vicious and merciless. You want my life right from the start. The winged snake hesitated as it approached Feng Xi. It glared fiercely at Yi Qingqiu. It was all because of this human who dared to steal its things. It had treasured the immortal ascension grass for so many years in order to use it during its tribulation. Who would have thought that it would be snatched away by this human? But that human who could emit flames wasn't someone it could afford to offend. Handsome, do you want to kill her? Shi Sheng didn't lower his voice at all. She lured this snake here. It's obvious that she doesn't have good intentions. Feng Ci blinked his bright eyes, looking a little dazed. If you like it, I'll kill her. Shi Sheng. Hey, why are you flirting with me? Am I someone you can flirt with? No matter what, you have to. I like it. Kill her. Kill her and I'll follow you. I'll flirt with you. Yi Qingqiu. Is it really okay for you guys to say this in front of me? Hashtag the host is encouraging the villain to do bad things again. Hashtag Feng Ci lightly raised his wrist and countless fist-sized fireballs appeared in front of him. They quietly floated in the air, without a trace of heat or aura. But for some reason, they made people feel fearful. The shadow snake had long sensed that something was wrong and slipped away to face its tribulation. It would come back for revenge once it succeeded. Of course, it had to pass the tribulation first. So, only Yi Qingqiu and the male lead, Long Ju, were left here. Shang Shu, you want to kill your fellow sect member? Yi Qingqiu could sense that something was wrong with the flames and hurriedly asked. I'm not the one who did it. Why would I be the one killing my fellow sect member? Handsome, don't listen to her nonsense. She's just stalling for time. This was the female lead's special skill. As long as she could stall for time, there would definitely be a chance to turn things around. I'm the direct disciple of the Misty Sect's sect master. Sir, you should think carefully. Yi Qingqiu calmly retreated. Shang Shu, this woman actually dared to. Feng Ci didn't even bat an eyelid. The flames floating in front of him shot towards Yi Qingqiu. Yi Qingqiu couldn't dodge the sea of fireballs. Yi Qingqiu's arm was hit and she let out a scream. What are these flames? They're so terrifying. The surrounding fireballs converged towards Yi Qingqiu, as if they wanted to envelop her. But halfway through, a gust of wind blew from Yi Qingqiu's side, causing the fireballs to sway. A trace of displeasure flashed through Feng Ci's eyes. A fire dragon flew out of his sleeve and headed straight for Yi Qingqiu. Yi Qingqiu instinctively blocked the male lead in front of her. Feng Ci, this is the mortal world. Do you want to attract the realm guards? A weak voice suddenly rang out. The person who spoke was the male lead, Long Ju. He was supported by Yi Qingqiu. His body was still in a sorry state and looked like he could be stabbed to death with a finger. Unfortunately, he wasn't dead. He looked at Yi Qingqiu with an ambiguous gaze. Yi Qingqiu avoided his gaze, but she didn't let go of Long Ju either. Feng Ci flicked his wrist and the fire dragon stopped an inch away from Yi Qingqiu. It changed its angle and flew back, merging with the flames around him. Yi Qingqiu gasped for breath. Her face was slightly pale. I almost died. Shang Shu. I definitely won't let this woman off. Shi Sheng. As expected, the female lead isn't that easy to kill. Capture her and bring her back to the celestial world to kill. Shi Sheng. Going to such great lengths to kill a person? Lord Villain, you're so awesome. Just as Shi Sheng was sighing, a white light suddenly appeared under Long Ju's feet. The light instantly enveloped Long Ju and Yi Qingqiu. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared without a trace. Damn, as expected of the Dragon Clan's young master. He even has something as precious as a teleportation talisman. Should we chase after them? Feng Ci looked at Shi Sheng seriously. No, it's boring. Shi Sheng shook his head. The female lead hadn't even ascended to the celestial world yet. Killing her would be too easy for her. It would be better to keep her alive and let her and the male lead hate each other. You're Feng Ci? I'm Shang Shu. You're from the celestial world? Shi Sheng blinked and asked curiously. He already knew this information. You can call me Ci. Come back to the celestial world with me. Feng Ci was hesitant at first, but the last sentence was very forceful. It was as if he would kidnap her if Shi Sheng didn't agree. Asterisk, the sickly male lead is online. Please don't be careless, begging for votes, begging for collections, begging for rewards, begging for book reviews. I have 1,100 recommendation votes. Chapter 56. I can't go to the immortal realm. Shi Sheng shook his head, looking melancholy. I'm only at the foundation establishment stage, and I'm still far from ascending to the immortal realm. Feng Ci frowned. But you can stay in the cultivation world. Shi Sheng's eyes sparkled. You've been in the immortal world for a long time, haven't you? It's also a kind of experience to change to another place. Stay. If I stay here, will you stay with me? That's right. This Bao Bao still has to help you ascend to the throne of the immortal emperor, so of course I have to be with you. First, he had to increase his favorability and trust. All right. Shi Sheng silently deleted the countless persuasion words in his mind. She didn't even give him a chance to use his eloquence. She agreed too quickly. Were the villains in the early stages so easy to coax? Feng Ci had never met anyone who could get close to him. Now that Shi Sheng could get close to him, of course he was happy. In fact, he had already decided to keep Shi Sheng in captivity. I'll go catch that snake and make it your mount. Feng Ci reached out and grabbed Shi Sheng's hand, leading her to the place where the thunderclouds were the densest. Yes, his people should use the best things. Although the snakehead was not as good as a dragon, it was still considered the best in the mortal world and the cultivation world. He would go and catch a dragon for her when he reached the immortal world. Shi Sheng had no idea what Feng Ci was planning, but when he heard that Feng Ci was going to catch the snakehead snake, he was stunned. Wasn't this villain a little too nice to her? But why wasn't it a strategy quest this time? Could it be that the system already knew? The system was such a scum. How despicable. Therefore, the snake-legged snake that had just finished its tribulation and was about to ascend was captured by Feng Ci and forced to sign a contract with Shi Sheng. The winged serpent refused, but in the face of absolute power, it did not dare utter a single word. It had endured the tribulation with great difficulty and thought that beautiful days were waiting for it. Who knew that before it could transcend the tribulation, its immortal ascension grass was snatched away by a human. After transcending the tribulation, it was contracted. Who did it offend? From now on, you'll be called Pudding. Shi Sheng patted the head of the snakekin. No, it was now the snakekin dragon. After the winged serpent ascended, it would become the winged dragon. However, it could not be compared to the other pure-blooded dragons. Pudding? What kind of name was that? It was not cool at all. No. The flames around Feng Ci's body flared up. Yinlong's body trembled. Pudding it is. Can't you retract your flames? Shi Sheng looked at the flames behind her and felt a headache coming on. How could she bring him back like this? Sure. As soon as Feng Ci's voice fell, the flames disappeared completely. So, why didn't you put it away before? Although the background looked awesome and gorgeous, it was still very scary, okay? This way, no one will find trouble with me. Feng Ci said each word slowly and seriously. A trace of viciousness flashed through his dark red eyes. You can only stay by my side in the future. Shi Sheng, where did this sickly child come from? Let's rest here today and continue our journey tomorrow. Shi Sheng sighed and released Pudding. Go and catch some rabbits. Pudding could speak a long time ago, but it didn't want to talk to humans, especially those who had contracted it. Therefore, it just shook its head proudly and walked towards the forest in the distance, to catch rabbits. It was a Yinlong that had just ascended, but it wanted to catch rabbits. Catch rabbits. How could it survive in the future if word got out? Pudding angrily caught a few rabbits and threw them in front of Shi Sheng. With a flick of its tail, they disappeared. It couldn't afford to offend them, but it could still hide. Feng Xiai looked at the rabbits in Shi Shang's hands and his eyes flashed. He reached out and took the rabbits. With a whoosh, flames appeared in his hands and the rabbits instantly turned into ashes. With a gentle breeze, the ashes drifted into the air. Shi Shang. Feng Xi's long eyelashes fluttered like butterfly wings. His dark red eyes looked at his hands in confusion. His expression was adorable. In the next second, he grabbed Shi Shang's hand with so much force that Shi Shang heard the sound of bones cracking. As if he was confirming something, his confusion was slowly replaced by a smile. He said word by word, "You're mine." "Let go." Shi Shang gritted his teeth and glared at Feng Xiai. "My hand is about to break." Hearing this, Feng Xiai didn't let go. Instead, he frowned. "You don't want to be with me? Be with you, my ass." Shi Shang sucked in a cold breath. "You're going to break my hand." "Brother, can you let go of me first?" "You don't want to be with me?" Feng Xiai ignored Shi Shang's words and asked stubbornly. Flames danced around his body. Under his calm expression, there was a violent aura. It was as if he would crush Shi Shang to death on the spot if Shi Shang said he didn't want to be with him. "Oh, my bad temper. I do. Let go of me first." "What backbone? Let's talk about that when I'm stronger than Feng Xiai." Feng Xiai retracted his aura and let go of Shi Shang in satisfaction. He reached out to pick up the rabbits on the ground. In the blink of an eye, the rabbits were burned to a crisp. Not even a strand of hair was left. Shi Shang rubbed his reddened hands and looked at Feng Xiai strangely. "What are you doing? What do you have against rabbits?" "That's my dinner, my dinner." Feng Xiai looked at Shi Shang in confusion. "I want to roast some rabbits for you." "Roast rabbits? Do you know how powerful your fire is? Even an immortal wouldn't be able to handle it, let alone a rabbit." "I'll do it myself," Shi Shang said helplessly. "What the hell did I pick up?" Over the next few days, Shi Shang finally understood how big of a problem he had picked up. Feng Xiai was very possessive of her. Even if she glanced at a tree, it would be burned to ashes in the next second. "You want to be the ruler of the immortal world? Don't you want the immortal world anymore? The system must be crazy." Because of Feng Xiai, Shi Shang missed the special bus back to the sect. She didn't know if Bai Lang would be beaten to death by his master if he went back and told him that he had lost her. She had Pudding, who could fly, so it wasn't hard for her to return to the cultivation world. Pudding couldn't fly before it ascended, but after it ascended, it would grow a pair of wings. It looked strange and out of place. However, the people in the cultivation world thought it was very domineering and beautiful. Shi Shang thought it was because he had a different sense of beauty compared to them. "Let me tell you, when we get back to the sect, you're not allowed to burn people for no reason. You'll cause me trouble." Shi Shang looked at Feng Xiai seriously. Along the way, he had burned at least 80 people to death, if not 100. Basically, he would start burning people at the slightest provocation. He would burn people wherever he went. "Okay." Feng Xiai nodded cutely. "If you don't like it, I won't burn them." Shi Shang. "Don't F*King tease me for no reason." Voting at the slightest provocation, 1100 recommendation votes, 1500 more next time. Come on, cherub, keep it up. Chapter 57. Shi Shang sat on Pudding and charged towards the Misty Sect. However, he was stopped before he even entered the sect. "Who's there? You're not allowed to fly above the Misty Sect." Several disciples wearing Misty Sect robes stood on their flying swords and blocked Shi Shang's path. When they saw the person on the flying swords, their expressions changed and they sized him up in surprise. Martial Uncle Shang. When they saw Feng Xiai standing beside Shi Shang, their faces filled with fear and they all backed away. Shi Shang looked at them in confusion. "How long has it been since we last met? Or does she eat people?" After Shi Shang went in, he finally understood why they were looking at him like that. Yi Qingqiu had already returned to the sect and told the sect master that she had colluded with outsiders to kill her. The entire Misty sect was talking about how cruel and merciless she was and how she killed her fellow sect members. She made it sound like it was true. "I'll help you kill them." Feng Xi's eyes were filled with hostility. Other than him, no one else could say anything about his people. Shi Sheng quickly pulled Feng Xi back. "It's not like you'll lose anything if you say a few words. Let them talk." "Damn it, killing people for no reason. I can't control this human-shaped killing machine." Feng Xi looked at Shi Sheng in confusion. Only when he saw her holding his hand out of the corner of his eye did the hostility in his eyes slowly recede. "Let's go back to Heaven's Edge Peak first." Shi Sheng's voice suddenly stopped. He looked at the building beside them and saw a few people standing in the distance. "My martial uncle isn't that kind of person. Chu Ning, I'm telling you, don't talk nonsense and slander my martial uncle." "I'm talking nonsense? Who in the sect doesn't know? If you have the ability, go and shut their mouths. Look, even your martial uncle doesn't dare to come back. If she didn't do it, why wouldn't she dare to come back?" "Nonsense. Lin Yi, what are you doing?" "Lin Yi, you attacked first. Don't blame me for this." At first, Lin Yi attacked first. However, Chu Ning had several people on her side and Lin Yi had no chance of winning. After a few moves, she was at a disadvantage. Shi Sheng frowned and said, "Wait for me here. Don't come out and don't make a move." Feng Xi looked at Shi Sheng unhappily. He opened his mouth, but before he could say anything, Shi Sheng continued, "Didn't you say you would listen to me?" Feng Xi pursed his lips and released the Shi Sheng after a few seconds. "If they hurt you, I'll make sure they don't even have a corpse left." Shi Sheng. The cultivation version of the domineering CEO was online. Lin Yi's heart was filled with unwillingness, but she could only watch helplessly as the crescent-shaped wind blade swept towards her. The anger in her heart was replaced by fear. However, when she thought about how these people had insulted her martial uncle, Lin Yi felt fearless again. Master and Master will definitely prove Martial Ant's innocence and avenge her. Just as the wind blade was about to hit her, a layer of white ice wall suddenly appeared in front of her. The wind blade hit the ice wall, but it didn't even scratch the ice. Bullying the weak with numbers. Disciples of Wuyan Peak. Good manners. Lin Yi jerked her head in the direction of the sound. Against the light, a young girl in a purple Daoist robe slowly walked over. Her body seemed to be coated with a layer of holy white light. Every step she took felt like she was stepping on the tip of Lin Yi's heart, causing it to beat faster and faster. "You." Chu Ning was stunned when she saw who it was. She said sarcastically, "You actually dare to come back?" Shi Sheng helped Lin Yi up and waved his hand to remove the ice wall. He said casually, "Why wouldn't I dare to come back? You're still so stubborn. Let's see how you'll be able to talk back when the sect master finds you." Chu Ning snorted. She had her reasons for not liking Shi Sheng. A year ago, this woman had been shamelessly clinging to her older brother. This time, she had failed. How could she not clap her hands in joy? "Then you don't have to worry about it." Shi Sheng paused and looked at Chu Ning from the corner of his eyes. He suddenly raised his hand and a few ice blades shot into Chu Ning's calves. Before Chu Ning could see what it was, her legs went soft and she fell to the ground. The people around her quickly caught her and stopped her from falling to the ground. Chu Ning's mind went blank. She had attacked too quickly. When did Shang Shu's cultivation level become so high? "Shang Shu, what are you doing?" One of the girls reacted and was furious. "I'm just punishing a disrespectful disciple." "Why, do you want to have a taste of it too?" Shi Sheng stared at the girl and revealed a set of white teeth. His smile was a little eerie. He condensed a few ice blades in his hand and was about to throw them out. The girl was shocked. She didn't even see how the ice blades appeared. She was definitely no match for Shang Shu. Her anger dissipated instantly. Chu Ning had a brother who was a direct disciple. She could do whatever she wanted, but they couldn't. Besides, even if Chu Yi came, he would have to call her martial aunt. Shang Shu, I won't let you go. Chu Ning's face twisted in pain. She gritted her teeth and said, just you wait. This time, even Master Yu Xiao won't be able to protect you. Okay, I'll wait. Shi Shang sneered and walked away with Lin Yi. If you dare to be so impudent in front of me again, I'll make sure you lose your leg. Chu Ning trembled in anger. She trembled a few times but couldn't say a word. She could only watch the two of them walk away. Lin Yi didn't dare to make a sound. She allowed Shi Shang to lead her out of sight. Martial aunt. Did I get into trouble? Other than the arena, fighting was not allowed in the Misty Sect. It was all because of her that her martial aunt had attacked Chu Ning. There's already a big problem anyway. One more doesn't matter. Shi Shang said carelessly, but you knew you couldn't beat them. Why did you still attack them? Is there something wrong with your head? Lin Yi bit her lip and didn't dare to speak. She felt wronged. She had only attacked them because she couldn't stand what they said about her martial aunt. You had to endure it when you knew you couldn't beat them. Would you lose a piece of meat if you let them mock you? As long as they don't cross the line and she's happy, you should let her be happy. Find the right opportunity to pull her down when she's happy. That's the most painful moment. Lin Yi stared blankly at Shi Shang. She couldn't believe that she would say something like that. What are you looking at? Are you stupid? Let me tell you, if you don't control your temper, you'll be at a disadvantage in the future. In this world, anyone who can achieve great things is someone who can endure. Lin Yi was protecting her, so Shi Shang gave her a few pointers. Whether or not she could comprehend it depended on Lin Yi herself. I understand, martial aunt. She had always known that she had a bad temper, but she couldn't help it. Her martial aunt had told her so many times, but she still couldn't remember. The most important thing was that every time her master spoke, it was so profound, and it was always about great principles. How could she possibly listen and remember? Now that Shi Shang had explained it so simply, she immediately understood. If you wanted to show off, you had to have the ability. If you didn't have the ability, then let others do it. When she wasn't paying attention, then make a move. #asking for the host's mental blackness #*. If you wanted to show off, you had to have the votes. Come on, darlings, use your votes to kill me. Chapter 58. Shi Shang led Lin Yi to Feng Ci. Lin Yi was still pondering over Shi Shang's words and didn't notice the sudden appearance of another person. She was pushed away by a strong force and fell on her butt. Only then did she stare blankly ahead. Feng Ci grabbed Shi Shang's hand and stared at Lin Yi with an unpleasant expression. His gaze made Lin Yi's scalp go numb. Cold air rushed to her head and her body went weak. Fear flooded her heart and drowned her. What are you doing? Shi Shang rolled his eyes speechlessly. She's my martial niece. Martial niece, do you understand? She's not allowed to touch you. Feng Ci's voice was slightly cold, making Lin Yi's heart tremble. Master, save me. There's a pervert here. Shi Shang frowned. If he argued with him, there would be no result. Lin Yi might even suffer. So, it was better for Lin Yi to suffer for now. At the very least, he would be able to keep his life. If this had happened before, Lin Yi would have been burned to ashes. When they returned to Tianjin Peak, Lin Yi threw herself into Bai Lang's arms. She was trembling in fear, but her little face kept rubbing against Bai Lang's chest. Shi Shang held his forehead helplessly. This little pervert. Feng Ci stared at Lin Yi seriously. No one knew what he was thinking. Shi Shang went to find Yu Xiao and asked Feng Ci to stay put. Feng Ci actually agreed, but his gaze was fixed on Lin Yi and Bai Lang. Damn it! Was this guy thinking of burning Lin Yi while she was gone? After thinking about it, Shi Shang still took Feng Ci with him. It was better to bring this kind of human killing machine with him. Yu Xiao wasn't surprised by Shi Shang's return. Instead, he was more interested in Feng Xiai. The two men looked at each other, affectionately. The atmosphere was very harmonious. Did I walk into the wrong place? Shouldn't other masters start a fight when they see their own disciple bringing a man back? Did you take a liking to him the moment you came? Shi Shang waited for a full 5 minutes in boredom before Yu Xiao retracted his gaze. Xiaoshu, where did you pick this person up from? Shi Shang. Master, what's wrong with you? What happened to being noble and elegant? How can you use the word pick up? It's so degrading. Master, is there a problem? Shi Shang was perturbed. What was Yu Xiao trying to do? Yu Xiao glanced at Feng Xiai again. His expression was as cold as ever. I have something to say to Xiaoshu in private. May I ask this young master to wait outside? Feng Xiai immediately revealed an unhappy expression. The Shi Shang hurriedly comforted him before he left in a bad mood. Yu Xiao raised his hand and set up a boundary. Xiaoshu, this person's fate is strange, but he is the best Dao companion for you. You've been waiting for a long time. Master, what are you talking about? What was the best Dao companion? What happened to the master-disciple relationship? What's with the way you're talking about your daughter? Yu Xiao spoke slowly for a long time. When Shi Shang heard the last part, he was completely dumbfounded. They had only met once, and her cheap master was going to sell her. Sell her. Xiaoshu, your fate is like this. If you were to be with him, you would still have a chance of survival. Yu Xiao sighed. There's not much I can do for you. Think about it carefully. What was there to consider? What did his cheap master say just now? I didn't hear anything. The dizzy Shi Shang was chased out by Yu Xiao. Before he closed the door, he didn't forget to say, Xiaoshu, come with me to the main peak tomorrow at noon. It was probably because of Yi Qingqiu. Looking at Feng Xiai standing not far away, Shi Shang felt stifled. Cheap master meant that if she didn't get together with him, she would die. What kind of ridiculous setting was this? Do I look good? Feng Xiai suddenly asked. No. Shi Shang's lips twitched into a smile. Against his will, he praised. You look good. You look the best. I'll only show you from now on. Shi Shang. Will you die if you don't tease me? You're only showing me? Are you going to cover your face with that veil? F***ck. Feng Xiai naturally wouldn't cover his face. But she knew from Lin Yi and Bai Lang that even though they clearly saw Feng Xi's face, they couldn't remember it. Even if they were looking at him, they couldn't remember what he looked like. Shi Shang. Experts with high cultivations are so arrogant. Bai Lang had received Yu Zhao's orders and prepared a room for Feng Xiai. But Feng Xiai directly carried the things to Shi Shang's room. Bai Lang seemed to have received some information from Yu Xiao. He only revealed a strange smile and dragged the gossipy Lin Yi away. Shi Shang had to cultivate at night and didn't sleep, so he let Feng Xiai do as he pleased. The next day, before Yu Xiao could bring Shi Shang to the main peak, someone from the main peak came to invite them in. The main peak also had a name. It was called Cloud Ease Peak, but everyone was used to calling it the main peak. Cloud Ease Peak was rarely used. The main peak was naturally occupied by the sect master and his disciple. The sect master only had one disciple, Yi Qingqiu. So, there were only the two of them on the main peak. Today, the main peak was especially lively. All the representatives from the main peaks had arrived. Shi Shang followed Yu Xiao into the main hall. He imitated Yu Xiao and half-heartedly bowed. Fortunately, everyone's attention was on Feng Xiai, so no one paid attention to his half-hearted attitude. Feng Xiai stood beside him and didn't say anything. Everyone around them was talking. Strange, why can't I see what he looks like? I can't see clearly either. Silence. With this cold shout, those people immediately quieted down and looked respectfully at the man on the main seat. As the supporting male lead, he naturally wouldn't be too ugly. The sect master was also handsome and elegant. The sect master sized up Feng Ci and was a bit wary. Qingqiu said that Shang Shu worked with a man to hurt her. It seemed that it was him. But why couldn't he see his face clearly? Was his cultivation higher than his? Cultivators naturally had some unorthodox methods. This kind of face-blurring spell was only useful in front of people with lower cultivation. If his cultivation was higher than his, then it would be troublesome. Shang Shu, do you admit to your crime? Since he couldn't figure out Feng Ci's background, the sect master could only focus on Shang Shu. Senior brother, this matter hasn't been clarified yet, so it might not be Xiao Shu's fault. Yu Xiao cupped his hands, his voice still unhurried. Senior brother, please let Xiao Shu speak. The sect master glared at Shang Shu with dissatisfaction, but still waved his hand. Shang Shu, tell me, did you attack Qingqiu? No. Shi Shang shook his head. BBB, didn't attack Qingqiu. BBB, won't admit to something I didn't do. Do you think that my disciple would accuse you? The sect master looked coldly at Shi Shang. A huge wave of pressure crashed down on Shi Shang. Feng Ci's gaze turned cold. He raised his hand and a fire dragon as thick as an arm appeared. It raised its head and attacked the sect master aggressively. Asterisk 1500 recommendation votes so fierce. BBB, was scared to death. Chapter 59. As soon as the fire dragon appeared, the sect master's coercion seemed to be defeated. He took a step back in disbelief. When the fire dragon was about to approach him, he hurriedly cast a spell and set up a barrier around him. However, the barrier was of no use. The fire dragon's body tightened around his barrier, and the barrier was burned by the flames. Claire. Shi Shang called out. Feng Ci hesitated for a moment and raised his hand to call back the fire dragon. At the same time, he shot out a few sharp blades condensed from flames, which passed through the cracks in the barrier and shot into the sect master's abdomen. Ugh! The sect master only felt a violent force squeeze into his body out of thin air, rampaging through his body as if it was going to tear him apart. From the beginning to the end, it only took a few seconds. When everyone came to their senses, the sect master was already holding his abdomen and kneeling on the ground on one knee. Sect master! How dare you? Who are you? How dare you attack the sect master? The people who came to their senses stepped forward and took out their weapons to point at Shi Shang and Feng Ci. Be reasonable, you guys. He was the one who attacked me first. Shi Shang pulled Feng Ci to his side and said sarcastically, Don't you know that I'm just a foundation establishment cultivator? Do you think I can survive the sect master's coercion? Do you think you can do whatever you want? Damn it, he didn't want to listen to her explanation at all. No matter what she said, she would definitely take the blame. Just like the time when she drugged him in the plot, even if she had a witness, she was still the one who did it in the end. You are a disciple of the Misty Sect. How can you disobey your superiors? Even if the sect master punishes you, it's because you attacked your fellow disciples first. Yu Xiao, look at your good disciple. First, she killed her fellow disciples, and now she attacked the sect master. She must be severely punished. It's not enough to expel her from the sect. Back then, Master said that this woman's fate was unknown and would bring trouble to Junior Brother, but Junior Brother didn't believe him. Now, not only did she kill her fellow disciples, but she also disobeyed her superiors. Yu Zhao's expression remained unchanged. In the face of so many people's doubts, he still stood in front of Shi Shang. The sect master attacked Shu first. Shu was just protecting herself. You, Junior Brother, how can you be so stupid? Shi Shang looked at Yu Xiao in surprise. Was her fate unknown? In the plot, the original owner did bring disaster to Yu Xiao. These people, she didn't know what Yi Qingqiu had said to them, but they didn't even listen to her explanation before rushing to convict her. When Feng Ci saw that Shi Shang's expression wasn't good, his dark red eyes flashed with ruthlessness. He said word by word, Hand over Yi Qingqiu, or he'll die. How dare you? Yu Xiao, are you just going to watch them do as they please? Jade Flute. Why are you calling me master? It wasn't my master who did it. Shi Sheng sneered. I, Shang Shu, hereby renounce my master-disciple relationship with Yu Xiao. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other. Shi Sheng looked at Yu Xiao and said, Master, I'm sorry for being unfilial. I will repay you for raising me in the future. As long as she was not around, Yu Xiao should not die, so the best way was to cut off all ties with Yu Xiao. Xiao Shu. Yu Xiao frowned and looked at her. Master, don't worry. I have the ability to protect myself. Shi Sheng winked at Yu Xiao. Without waiting for him to speak, he turned to the group of people who were glaring at them. There's no need to trouble yourself to expel me. I'll leave on my own. Kill them. Feng Xi raised his hand and was about to set fire to the hall. Shi Sheng didn't stop him. He only summoned Pudding when he was about to set fire to the hall. He pulled Feng Xi onto Pudding and they flew out of the hall. Tell Yi Qingqiu to hurry up and cultivate. I'll come back to find her. This sentence echoed in the Misty Sect for a long time. Shi Sheng didn't immediately leave the Misty Sect. Instead, he went to find Lin Yi and Bai Lang and told them to take good care of Yu Xiao and not let him go against Yi Qingqiu. Lin Yi hugged Shi Sheng and cried until she was thrown out by Feng Xi. By the time Bai Lang came back with his disciple, Shi Sheng and Feng Xi were already gone. Shi Sheng only found out about the sect master's death when he saw her and Feng Xi's arrest warrant. Shi Sheng knew how he died. If Feng Xi didn't summon the flames that Feng Xi had injected into his body, they would slowly burn away the spirit energy in his body. That kind of feeling was worse than death. That day, when Feng Xi set fire to the Misty Sect, several peak masters didn't escape. After losing so many peak masters in a row, the Misty Sect fell into an unprecedented crisis. Feng Xi stared at the portrait on the arrest warrant. After a long while, he spat out a word. Ugly. He raised his hand and burned the arrest warrant to ashes. Shi Sheng looked around. Luckily, there wasn't anyone around and no one saw his actions. Otherwise, he'd be in trouble again. You look good. Feng Xi turned to Shi Sheng. You're ugly. Shi Sheng. No need to explain, this baby understands. I can help you destroy the Misty Sect. Feng Xi didn't understand why Shi Sheng wanted to stop him. It was just a small sect in the lower realm. He could easily destroy it with a lift of his finger. Don't you think it's better to watch them struggle and live in pain? Feng Xi looked at Shi Sheng in confusion. Would it be better? Yes, everything she said was right. It would definitely be better. Next time, don't let those people die so quickly. Shi Sheng didn't know that because of her one sentence, Feng Xi would use all kinds of methods to torture people in the future. There were still 10 years until the sex competition, which was held once every 50 years. Therefore, Shi Sheng still had time to cultivate. In these 10 years, in order to help Shi Sheng increase his cultivation level, Feng Xi had traveled the entire cultivation world. As long as there was something good, he would snatch it for Shi Sheng. Therefore, in these 10 years, the two of them became famous in the cultivation world. Their enemies could circle the cultivation world a few times. The Misty Sect's people were also persistent. Once they heard about her and Feng Xi, they swarmed over like bees. Which, you'll die a horrible death. Why is it that I'll die a horrible death again? Didn't you guys come for the Reaper's sword in my hand? Shi Sheng waved the pitch-black sword in his hand. You say you're upholding justice, but you're actually robbing people. You self-proclaimed righteous sects are nothing more than this. Bah, you were the one who snatched the Reaper's sword, the man retorted, unconvinced. Yes, I'm capable, so I snatched it. I've never retorted. Since you want the Reaper's sword so much, then I'll use it to send you on your way. No need to thank me. As soon as he finished speaking, Shang stabbed the sword into the man's chest without hesitation. The man's eyes widened. Dark red blood seeped out of the corner of his mouth. His face quickly turned pale. His body twitched, and he lost all signs of life. Feng Xiai walked up to her and wiped her hands. He said seriously, "I'll do this kind of thing." Shang looked at the man who was wiping her hands. His movements were very gentle, as if he was afraid of hurting her. However, he felt that her hands were dirty, so he stubbornly wiped them. "Okay, it's already very clean." Shang grabbed Feng Xi's hand and smiled at him. Feng Xi wiped her hands one last time and wrapped them in his hands. "You should keep your hands clean. Here it comes again, here it comes again. I'm not your pet. Even pets can kill people. Come, read it out loud. Feng Xi, I want to marry you." 700 book reviews plus update next time, 1000 book reviews plus update. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.